Secure your tinfoil hats, buckle down tight, and hold on loosely as we soar over the rocky tops of the La Platas on a rocky mountain high. Get sucked into the vortex of the Four Corners and settle down snugly at mile marker 420. It is Saturday, February 1st, Sunday, February 2nd for those of you across the pond and beyond. Welcome to We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. I'm so glad you guys can join us tonight. I'm your host, TessaTNT, and I hope you had an awesome week. I hope you didn't work too hard, and I hope the beginning to your week is rockin' and fun. I know this weekend in Durango, Colorado, we have snow down for everybody that's got that cabin fever that needs to get out and about. Everybody's dressed up in their rock and roll outfits and having way too much fun on the streets of Durango. So you may also find us on Spreaker.com, Periscope, Twitter, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iTunes, iHeartRadio, CastBox, Tumblr, YouTube, SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, Deezer, as well as Podcast Addict. So tonight I have a treat for all my guys and gals out there. Tonight we are introducing you to Creperum. Reminds me of Red Rum, Creperum, with Justin Richards and Joseph Paris. So Justin Richards' journey into the paranormal started at a young age of 6 years old when he encountered a family nightmare that has happened for generations to his family. He saw Satan himself. As Justin grew older, he always had questions, but no answers to those questions. So at the age of 14, Justin founded his very first paranormal team to search for those answers, which spiraled into a career spanning over 20 years now. Justin is not only a highly respected paranormal investigator, known for his new techniques and inventions into the field, but he is also a psychic medium, director, and producer. His years in the field led him to later on team up with paranormal investigator Joe Paris, and they formed the teams Creperum and Creperum, with Creperum being the extreme team that deals with demonic and extreme cases. From an extreme possession case in Indiana that was like walking into the scenes of a horror movie to being attacked by a demonic force that has affected Justin's entire family and some of his team, he continues his search for answers and to prove the existence of what lurks in the darkness. Justin and his partner, Joe Paris, alongside with their production team, are currently working on Justin's new TV series titled The Channel, as well as a massive documentary miniseries, The Devil Leads Us, which is a search for the Jersey Devil like never seen before. Joseph Paris and Justin Richards, the founders of Creperum and Creperum, due to their extensive research and contributions into the paranormal field, are very well respected and have gained worldwide notoriety because not only from the notorious cases they have worked, but even the possessed and cursed objects they store in a private museum. Justin and Joe are both shaping the paranormal field with new technology and theories, which their methods involve evidence-based experiments. Richards and Paris are also the creators behind the famous Spirit Chamber, which allows the manifestation of spirits to be observed. So join us for one-on-one, uncensored, and exclusive interview about some of our most notorious cases, our paranormal experiences and inventions that are shaping new ways to capture evidence in the paranormal field, as to talk about the new projects currently in production. So let me turn you guys on real quick. Hey, Justin and Joe, welcome to the show, and thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight. I'm doing good. I'm so excited to have you guys on. And I know you guys are trying to, do your man thing and not hug and stuff, but let me see if I can move this camera back a little bit more so you don't have to be all creeped out in the Creperum.
Exactly.
You're like, man, I'm just not comfortable with this. So welcome, guys. It's so awesome to meet you, and we got to talk earlier, but I kind of like to keep it fresh and not talk to people before the show, because if I ask a question then, I might not do it now. But you had some really early experiences, Justin, as far as the paranormal and meeting the devil, which I met at the early age of 6. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that's something I'm actually studying, and I've actually got a group for that with children that are experiencing the same thing you and I both have, because my age was 6 as well. And I think he's targeting children with certain abilities to try to persuade them over for him. That's what I'm thinking. I remember I was wide awake. I remember him sitting at the foot of my bed, and next thing I know, he's right next to me. And he looks at me and says, "You know exactly who I am." And he just says, "You're going to do what I ask of you." After that moment, I remember freaking out. I mean, I was a child. I knew exactly who he was. Even being that young, I knew who he was. I seen a white light. There was a picture. I remember I had these 2 mirror doors that went to the bathroom in my room. And I had a picture of Jesus literally walking on water hanging on the left side. And I remember looking at the picture. Then I saw a white light in the mirror. And he started growling, getting really angry, and said, "I'm not finished." And then next thing I know, he's gone. I was screaming at the top of my lungs. My parents didn't hear me scream, didn't hear anything. I remember running to the room. After I told them what happened, they just told me it's probably not that big of a deal. Later on in life, years and years later, my mother told me she saw the same thing at the same age, and it goes back generations of our family as well. So that led me into the search for answers. As growing up, you couldn't talk about it to a church because you were bad. You couldn't talk about it at school because you were crazy. There was no resources back in the 80s and the 90s really for that you could, openly talk about the subject like you can now. And when I founded my first team with some friends of mine, we done some of our first investigations into the paranormal. We actually captured Weaver Cemetery out of Tennessee. We discovered a vortex and actually caught a black Aggie pointing at us on film. And we actually gained notoriety, published articles by that case at a very early age. And then that led me into a spiral of a career of over 20 years now.
So was seeing the devil actually your first paranormal experience, or did you have anything happen prior to that?
That was actually my very first. I mean, we had grew up, our childhood home was what you would consider, not comparison, but it was like an Amityville-style home, Conjuring home. It was very bad. You could hear screams, you could hear cackles. The basement, animals were afraid they would literally attack when they'd come up the steps. You could feel something following you. I mean, it was a really bad home, really negative. Outside of those things that I just shrugged off because I was a child, after I saw that, it really just started making me question as I got older. And we eventually left the home due to those reasons. So, yeah, that was my very first experience, though, like in terms of seeing a full-blown, I wouldn't even call him an entity sitting next to me.
So when I saw him, okay, at first I had this dream, and you might want to turn down your speaker a little bit. Okay, I can not hear myself anymore. But when I first saw him, I had a dream that my bed was tilting up, and I was sliding down my bed, and I was in my mom's room at my granny's house. My mom had been killed by a drunk driver, and my dad sent us for a vacation but didn't send back for us. So I was staying in her room, and I'm sliding down this bed, and there's a baseboard, but it's below the mattress. So I'm holding on to the baseboard, trying not to fall into this hole at the end of my bed full of fire and brimstone, basically. You can smell the sulfuric stuff going on. And then I wake up, I'm at the end of my bed, and I'm thinking what a realistic dream it was. Like, it was so real. It was blowing my mind, really. And then I smelled smoke still. But it wasn't the sulfuric smoke. I was smelling like a cherry cigar smoke. And I looked over into the doorway, and this guy was standing there, and he pulled this cigar up to his mouth, took a puff off of it, and at that point I could see his face and around the top part of what he was wearing, and he was wearing this really nice tuxedo with a bow tie and was smoking a cherry cigar, and I didn't even say anything or communicate with him. I knew who it was right away. Like you were saying, you just knew who it was.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, and so I, in my head, said, God stands before me, Satan fall behind, because that's what my dad taught me when I had nightmares, and just like that, I was knocked out, didn't have to deal with them. But then later on, when we were all brought back together, and I told the story, my dad really freaked out because he said, your mother had the same experience, but instead of being in the doorway, he was right by her bed. And they had a lengthy conversation. And so it's interesting that you kind of had that same experience, and your mother, like both of you, and how it is in the family, and my sister as well, and other members of my family.
Yeah, I'm trying to still search to piece those puzzles together because I want to see why he's targeting certain people, not everyone, but certain ones with abilities at these certain ages. Is it like an age of awakening where he can influence us more to kind of craft us to do what he wants later on in life because he knows we're going to do something else? I'm still trying to piece that together.
Well, I mean, it's crazy that happened to you, but at the same time, I'm glad it did because that awakened you to do these different things in life, to answer questions and to help other people who are going through this as well.
Yeah, which is a big, it's a nightmare and a curse at the same time, but also it was a blessing because it led me into the field. So,
what about you, Joe? What was your first paranormal experience?
I'm staying quiet over here.
Jump on in.
I am sort of quiet to begin with. I started at an early age, and I had met Ed and Lorraine Warren because I'm originally from Bridgeport, and they were working on a case, and I went on a case with them that still isn't publicly made as far as that case, but it came to a point where it got so bad they asked me to actually leave the room so they can finish doing what they need to do. Ever since after that, I got into it for, I'd say, about 7 to 10 years, and then I sort of backed away from it. My career started going off really strong, my family and stuff, my kids, and then it was 5 years ago I met Justin, and I started right back into it again.
Of course.
You thought you got rid of it.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, we've had all kinds of experiences going out and doing, whether it was private investigations or, public ones. We did actually a ghost chamber up at a church.
That was our first time debuting the Spirit Chamber, and it was successful. I'll let Joe go into details behind that.
And we turned around and set up the chamber, and basically there's a mist that's created inside the chamber. Now, anything that steps inside that chamber, either you can see or leave an impression or handprint, something, anything. And we're about halfway through, and we just started, really concentrating on it, the two of us.
That's when I started channeling what was there.
And then we turned around and we wound up seeing a bare footprint in the bottom of the chamber. And we had about 30 people there, so they're all eyewitnesses.
And that's not the craziest part. That part's extreme, but the craziest part is there was no coal dust anywhere in the building.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody, almost everyone in the entire audience that was witnessing this actually had handprints and marks on their body that was coal dust. So everybody experienced something that was there that night.
Wow.
And I'll send you the pictures if you want to upload after this interview of that event as well. So.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I love those. So you're talking about different tools and stuff that you guys have created for people to use in paranormal investigation. What exactly have you guys done, and what have you created for this field?
That on you?
Well, the chamber was actually Justin's thought, and I had actually designed it and built it to use for that church public event that we did. But we also have some other, I don't want to say tricks up our sleeves, but different ways of doing things. Now, you did have the static lights.
Yeah, the static lights. We've done a static charge system that actually will let us follow not just cold spots, but when filming, everybody watches the TV shows, and it's, oh God, did you feel that? It's a cold spot. The natural things that we're all used to seeing on television. But as a viewer, they say that, but you can't experience what they're seeing. The static discharge system actually allows our viewers, plus anybody around us, the lights will trigger based on the static electricity, something walking back and forth, so you can actually track the steps of an entity. And that's something else we also develop.
I think I've seen that on a show before where it kind of lights up.
If you're thinking REM pod, that's
REM
something
pod,
different.
She's thinking, yes.
Yeah, she's thinking REM pod.
Yep.
No, it's like
Yeah, this is a whole different.
It's like a floor mat thing, and as the thing steps on it or around it, it'll light up.
These are actually, not to interrupt, but these are actually small little lights, like LED lights.
Yeah, we've kept them
And
very
they're
small.
independent. Each one is a separate, light that'll be actually triggered off. I think our first time was at Drummond Bridge. We tried that out.
And we actually captured some really incredible evidence the first time we tested that theory.
That's awesome.
And then we have the P3.
P3.
P3 is actually a tripod that we have used at events and been very successful with. Matter of fact, we did a residential case and we set it up. Right, we set it up in the hallway, and we had asked what was there to actually whether to swing it or to make it sway or let it go in circles or back and forth. And actually, at one point, we actually just a spin on the axis, and it actually did.
And then it literally threw the thing across the room.
Yeah.
So it actually takes the error out of the pendulum, like somebody holding it. It takes the error out, and we've got technology behind it now as well. And it takes the error out so it properly moves and it's stabilized.
That's amazing.
Well, I was thinking of processes and things we do, but I don't want to give a lot of things we do to give away because there are cases that we deal with that are very extreme. Example, the Indiana case.
That was a nightmare.
That us going into it full force because of the children involved was very, very touching. But you have to separate yourself to what you're doing compared to feeling for these children. There was a team that was up there, and one of their members actually gave in to feeling bad for the daughter that had an issue, actually possession, and she invited into her. That's where the double came in. Then later we found out also the mother was possessed, so we had triple possession to do. It was 2 days, 2 nights, nonstop.
3 days at a time.
Well, 3 days altogether, yeah, till we were fully done.
Wow. So are they free of that, or is it still going on?
No, they're free of it. We keep in contact with them, but I think the mother
is not.
Yeah, I think the mother has got some issues still that she's still playing with.
There was a revisit, and I'm going to lightly mention it because we may have to revisit the case. They had some children over visiting, and a child that was there visiting levitated off of the ground and actually started speaking in tongue, quoting scripture, and saying, "We're not finished yet," and was levitating and then fell back to the floor. So we're attempting to possibly revisit the case based on that. So that was recent. So them being free, they were when we left, but something has returned. But we think it was reinvited.
Yeah. Well, we both think it was reinvited by the mother because the mother, she had been involved with witchcraft and stuff like that.
I don't think she's doing it intentionally. I think it's the fact she's dabbling and she doesn't understand what she's doing. So she's reinviting what was lingering. I think she's reopening it back up.
Yeah, definitely not good. So as far as your experience, Justin, with meeting the devil and what he said that you would do his will, so on and so forth, has he revisited you throughout the years, or has he left you alone due to, what you're trying to do and, your accomplishments and your drive to do something other than that?
Well, he doesn't leave either one of us alone, but Justin's had more issues because he's gotten involved in some cases that were pretty extreme.
They were worse
on his own. That it sort of showed its ugly head again.
Yeah, he's showed back throughout my life in different ways, other ways. I've seen him a couple of more times throughout my life and career, and I've seen him in different form, but I knew who he was. And then I seen the same exact way he appeared to me about 3 years ago. I seen him again, and he was lingering in like a hallway, standing. And he just gave me this look as I walked by him, and I knew exactly who it was, what it was, and I turned my head, he was gone. So, he has showed himself. He's not influenced what I'm doing. He's pushed me more to help those that are going through this. But as far as influencing, he's not been able to shift me where he wants me, I guess you could say. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, and you were talking about how you think perhaps he showed up because you're gifted and your family's gifted. And my mother was very gifted. Like, she could not only see the dead, but she would go and smoke and talk to them, and that was her weekend. She'd go up to the cemetery and talk to the dead and smoke joints or whatever, and then in the end of her life, she actually knew when and how she was going to die and asked her dad to help her plan her funeral. And my sister said, because she was with my mother as they had that car accident, she didn't want to take any of us, but my sister at the time was a teenager and persisted that she should go. And then she said as they were going around that corner right before the impact happened, she saw him standing there by a stretched limousine in the same tuxedo, smoking a cigar, and then the collision happened, and she ran to the phone and called us. And my I have a Periscope. It's showing up that something's right next to me. I don't know if you guys have seen these, but it's kind of broken. It got broken in the airport, but I put it out tonight. So it was at first next to me, but it's over by the door now. I thought I'd put something up just to see what happened without me knowing or catching on to it, but I saged in here, so I feel safe. And I'm wearing my crosses like Joe is. Joe's wearing his cross.
For now.
Yeah, and you're wearing your cross too, so I feel like we're all good. We're all protected. Yeah, it keeps trying to come towards me. Sorry. Like, who's here?
He had to go grab a call.
Yeah, it's really strange. And these incidences that we have, do you feel, Joe, since he went, that your family has gifts as well? And that's how perhaps you got into this field?
Well,
or are you like a...
It's actually funny because...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was actually going to say, or are you a trendsetter?
No. It's funny because we turned around and we started doing this quite a bit. And when I started making it public that I was back into doing this, one of my aunts had called me and she goes, well, you're finally following your family's, I don't want to say curse, but things they've done before. And I was like, what are you talking about? And my mother is full Italian. My father was French. My grandmother was Hungarian on my father's side, but I didn't know she was also a Hungarian gypsy. So the gypsy part is playing part of this too.
It's interesting how that happens. And I've also heard that these different things that we experience can actually change our genetic makeup, and we can pass it on to our family as well. And I have 4 kids at this point. I don't plan on having any more. But they're all gifted in their own way as well. So it's pretty interesting how that does travel down the line and how it does change our genetic makeup.
Oh yeah, definitely. My senses since my mother had passed away, which is sort of a rough subject because she passed away the day before my birthday. It's really odd because once she had left, really things got really stronger. The week before she passed away, I had a dream that my father had come, which my father's been gone for about 15 years. And he said to me, he says, I'm taking your mother, you're not going to see her no more. And I said, no, you're not. He says, yes, I am, and we're going. Well, it was the week after that she had passed away. And ever since then, it seems like things have gotten heightened a lot more than what they were before.
That's interesting because I've heard how things can exasperate, but I've also heard how when certain family members pass away, all the different activity that was happening will be gone. Especially the case that I'm talking about is with my husband's family, and their property is haunted by all kinds of different things, but they have a family plot basically on their land where they bury their family members, beginning with my husband's brother, and then both his parents are out there. But each time one of them is buried out there, less and less things happen, except for conversations that are heard by different people. So it makes me wonder if that's them talking and being overheard, or if there's something else going on. But it's interesting how it can be peaked because you don't have that certain individual there anymore, or how it can be silenced due to that individual being gone and kind of protecting you. So how did your activity peak once you lost your mother and then your father said he was taking her? What exactly happened?
Well, I realized that I'm a lot more of a sensitive and empath I pick up on things a lot easier than I used to before. I mean, I always had that feeling and sense where, I can tell where things are, or things are around me when there's actually nothing there. But it's gotten to a point where it's almost like me being in a football stadium. It's like everybody wants to talk at once. And over the years, I've learned how to focus myself and actually pay attention to one voice at a time. It's very hard to do. There's times where it gets overwhelming, but with the years of practice, it just took time, and now I can actually do that, and I don't have to worry about hearing a whole football stadium every time I open myself.
So, right now you guys are in a museum that you've created that holds different trinkets and such, and you guys have actually pulled out a few things tonight to join you for the show. And I see some dolls back there, which really creeps me out, and a picture of a young boy. What exactly have you guys pulled out to join us on the show this evening?
Well, the only one I brought with me was Amelia, and Amelia is actually a possessed doll that I'd come across. It was for sale on eBay, and a guy had purchased it, and I guess he thought it was, just cool to have, a little trendsetter deal, and then he come to find out that he couldn't handle it. The doll had actually moved, the doll had actually laughed and waved, and I was contacted, and I was asked if I would take her. And of course, me, of course, I'm going to say, yeah, I'll take it with everything else I've got here. So she's back here. If you want, I can bring her a little bit closer and you can take a look at her.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to meet her. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that is Amelia. Right now, she is contained with a rosary. I still don't trust her that much, but I'm really careful with her. I'm going to bring her really close because I want you to see her eyes.
Well, I was about to say her eyes look like they're glowing, and there's some sort of like movement or something going on in them. A very emerald green.
Yeah, her eyes are normally brown, but when she gets active, her eyes turn green.
Wow.
So there's times where her eyes are brown, or sometimes when they're green, and that's when I learn to be a little more cautious of what I do with her and where I bring her.
Hey, she's definitely creepy. And I've wondered about, people posting dolls online and saying they're haunted. Are they actually haunted, or are they just trying to make money? Do you feel like she is actually haunted or active?
Oh yeah, she's active, and she's got definitely activity to her. But I know there's a lot of people that are out there that are just turning around trying to make some money off of, things like that. I wouldn't trust anything. Like I said, it wasn't something that I bought. It was something that a gentleman bought off on eBay. And if you searched her on the internet, you can find the information about her. But he just couldn't handle her. It was just too much for him to handle. I guess he just didn't realize it, and he thought it was a joke, and it was a good conversation piece, but that's not what it is by far.
I'm getting chills up my back right now. I was fine before. But it's funny because when I was looking at your background, she stood out the most, and then I saw the other two back there in that picture of the little boy, but she for sure shows herself. Wants you to notice her.
Oh, she wants to be center of attention all the time.
Yeah. She's very beautiful, but yeah, she creeps me out.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, she's pretty, but that's about as far as it goes. I wouldn't trust her.
Pretty on the outside. What's going on the inside? Have you noticed different things happening since you got her?
Well, when I first brought her home, I turned around and I made the mistake of turning around, just putting her on the couch and going to bed. And no, that was not good. My wife had woken up about 2 a.m, and she went to go into the kitchen and stuff and all, and she was actually in the hallway.
Oh, no.
And she asked me why. She woke me up and she said, "Why did you put that in the hallway?" I was like, "I didn't put it in the hallway." I said, "Never mind." I went and grabbed her and put her out in the museum, so this way here she was contained, really. But yeah, it was not a good experience for me or my wife at that point.
So you have a rosary on her. Do you guys do any other sort of protective measures to keep her in check?
Oh yes, there's some things that are, let's say, hidden. Um,
We don't want to let her
you
know.
know, well, right. But there's certain things that contain her a lot better than what the rosary does.
And you had also talked about working with Ed and Lorraine Warren, and I know they have their own museum, and they actually have the Annabelle doll in like a little glass case that has different prayers and stuff over it basically every day. But what an honor for you to be able to meet them and work with them. That's amazing.
Yeah, like I said, it was on a case that we dealt with up in Bridgeport. Um, like I said, things gotten quite a bit out of hand where Ed and Lorraine basically had to close the door and, handle the rest of the case at the time. I did see quite a bit of what was going on and what happened, and I'll tell you right now, as far as Ed and Lorraine themselves, you couldn't meet two nicer people. I mean, Ed would, he's one of them people that would give you whatever he had if he wanted it. If you asked him for his shirt, he'd hand it to you. His hat, he'd hand it to you. His cigar, he'd hand it to you. Lorraine, her smile is what got me. I had talked to her briefly before she had passed away this past year, and her daughter had sent me a set of earrings from her, and she sent me one of her cards, and on the back of it, Lorraine wrote a little note for me, and that's something I'll treasure forever, though.
Yeah, it was so sad to lose her, but at the same time, I was happy because then her and Ed were together again, where they've always been happy. But I'm sure she's still doing work from the other side. Do you feel like she's still kind of doing the astral hop and doing other things, or do you feel like she's come back at all to help other people in these certain areas?
I've seen a lot of people, start things about that and stuff and all, and my thing is, I think she's happy where she's at now, and I don't think there's really a reason for her to communicate with anybody here or anything like that. Anybody who says they have or they are, just have a tough time with. I don't think that was her intent or his intent when they passed away was to communicate.
Yeah, they're probably done with that whole field and probably feel like they've done enough. Like they actually gave up a lot of family time with their kids and a lot of things that they could have been doing together just to help other people. And that's kind of what we do here in this field is sacrifice our time for others to help them on this side as well as the other side to pass on and be free. But I'm grateful you guys do that. And I'm grateful for Ed and Lorraine. They were very, very interesting and very talented people. They did a lot of good work. I can't imagine all the cases I've seen so far that they've done.
Oh yeah, very knowledgeable. I know. I keep in touch with the family still. I mean, to me, it's still family,
we both stay in touch
regardless,
with them.
On what happens or what's going on in their lives. But I'll send them a little message here or there, and just a hi or how are things going? How is everybody?
Yeah, and sorry for having to step away. Activity started affecting my home front again from the previous case that I was dealing with. So
no worries. Can you fill us
yeah, it's
in?
actually targeting my children. So
yeah, and that's where it gets scary. Do you feel that your kids are gifted too, and therefore they are subjected to a lot of these things?
Definitely. My daughter, she's 16 months now. She's definitely gifted the way she reads people. You can just see how she interacts. She's super intelligent. My stepchild's gifted as well, my stepdaughter, and she actually just saw the devil as well. And she described him in my lectures, my events. They've heard me speak and at engagements, and there's always a detail I leave out about what he looks like or a certain thing about him that I don't mention.
I'm going to step away while you guys talk for a little bit. No, yeah. No, I'm just going to step away. So
Yeah, everything that I left out, she described that exact detail. So I know she saw him as well. And that's like I said, it's in a certain age bracket from 6 to 11 that I've noticed from children I've consulted with and families. And I still want to piece together why.
Yeah, and that's the
Yeah,
question.
like I said, that was an emergency call.
Yeah, that's the question that kind of tends to drive us is the why and what of things, like why is this happening and what is the reason for it and why me? A lot of people think why me? A lot of people think of these certain gifts as a gift. Some people think of it as a curse. Some people have a half and half thing going on because it's quite tiring and draining when these things do come into your house and affect your family. Do you feel like you have different things coming into your house due to the fact that you do cases, or do you think it's due to the fact that you guys are all gifted and it's kind of like a beacon and things come in and try to communicate?
I think it's a bit everything combined. I think it's some of the cases, like one of them, I won't mention the names, but I found out stuff gets pushed from that case. They don't want to get rid of what was there, and they bring people in as bait to feed. And stuff's been pushed on my family from that. It's tried to already kill me. It's took control of my car and run me off of the road already. I've already seen it manifest. So I think it's a bit of all. The abilities I have, they can let me feel pain. They can let me taste. They can let me see them. I mean, I've got the smells, everything. So when they hit me, it's like 100-fold tidal wave. So I think they're trying. Some are asking for help. Some are out to cause problems. So I think it's a mix. I think it's a tidal wave.
It's interesting that you said that about the car accident because I had one where I went up to Piedra River Road, and then on the way back, like on the way up there, I was thinking, what a beautiful place. And if I ever died somewhere, I'd want it to be somewhere like this. And then on the way back down, I hit some corduroy, went right, left, and then straightened it out. And all of a sudden it felt like something grabbed the wheel of my car and yanked it to the right. And then we were off a 500-foot embankment, and I kept my eyes open until we hit. And then we rolled a few times, and luckily some trees caught us. Otherwise we would have gone thousands of feet down into a dry riverbed. But it was strange how it was all good, and then something just grabbed the wheel.
That's exactly what happened with mine. It took me straight off the road into a median, and I almost flipped 4 times that I could count. And it was all I could do to get it back on the road. It literally ripped the back out of the car, the underside out of the car. It was a nightmare, and it's happened to other people that were involved with that specific case. And when it happened to us, I actually had crew members and team members quit as well. It was devastating.
Well, yeah, and I think that's what they're trying to do is to scare us away from helping people. They don't want people to be helped, and so they're trying to scare us away or gather us, or I'm not sure what exactly it is, but it's pretty creepy and scary. I didn't have a vehicle for a while after that.
Trying to kill me at least 5 times now. So.
Yeah. Man. Do you know what
it was? It was a case
is?
Joe said stay away from, and I didn't listen.
Yeah.
I never listened.
Did he give you a reason as to why to stay away from it?
He gave me about 1,001, and when he comes back from smoking a whole pack of cigarettes, he can tell you.
Right? Man, it's crazy, but I've experienced that with different cases, as well as walk-ins. Like, have you had something follow you home and attack you or actually take possession of you for a moment?
I actually had that happen. One of the cases, an extreme case, it actually ripped the crucifix, lifted up the cross like this off my neck, and it ripped it off my neck and threw it across the room and then started choking me. That happened recently, about 3 weeks ago. I've had the attacks on that level. I've had them show theirself, like literally follow me home, show theirself. I've been scratched. I've been attacked. My stepkids and my daughter, I know she's seen them because of the way she just looks and stares and then just starts screaming. So as far as being attacked, yeah, I've been highly attacked.
So when you see them, do they appear as shadow people or do you see like a full apparition?
I've seen both. I can see the shadows. I can see the full apparitions. One case I was working, I actually was sitting doing a channeling session of what was there to connect, and I actually had something. Even camera crew, there was multiple camera guys, and it's in one of the projects. They could actually feel this thing breathing. I said it's walking, and we had multiple mag lights set up, and they were turning them off. I was doing like this, following it. And I could point, and I knew which light it was going to turn on, which one it was going to turn off as it was walking. And I said, this thing's going to come behind me. When it come behind me, I could feel it start breathing down my neck. And they actually could put their hand right here. And even camera crew that don't have abilities could feel this breath breathing on me. And about that time, I see this thing crawl up the wall and lunge like this. I mean, and that was a full demonic entity I was able to make out. Spirits show me, I can see what they look like. When they died, they can show me that. I can feel their pain. There was one child, didn't know the kid. I was actually at a meeting some friends, and my fiance introduced me to somebody at that time. She was my fiance at the time. She's my wife now. And when we met, her friends, they wanted a reading. And I started saying there's something really bad in the house. I walk straight to a room. I say, I'm going to go through your house. This may be odd. I walk through these people. I've never met them before. Walk through their house, and I say, why is your mother's ashes here? She's not happy about that. There's no way I knew where it was at. Moved them, and then I started having this horrible pain in my side. I started to say, I'm gashed. Why am I hurting so bad? And I put my hand here. They bought one of their sons out, and when they bought the son out, he had just been hit by a car like a month or so back. He still had the scars, the same place I was feeling. So I connected with the tragedy that happened there as well. So, I mean, I can see things in different ways. I saw their mother, which showed me that. I mean, it's just the way they show themselves. One crazy story, I was checking into a hotel, and a lady had recognized me, and she said, can you read me, please? I know you probably get paid a lot for this, and I might get in trouble for asking. And I said, you're happy, but what's this housekeeper want? She's looking at me. She said, there's not a housekeeper. I describe her. And she says, can I show you a picture? And she pulls it out. Never got to meet her grandmother before the grandmother died. And she pulls out a picture, and that was the woman I described.
So you thought it was the housekeeper, but it was her grandmother?
It was actually her grandmother, and she said her grandmother had always been following her. Everything. Yes.
Well, it's interesting how our family is with us in a lot of different people as far as authenticities and stuff. Oh, that's much better. But they believe.
You want to meet the other side?
No.
He can help you out with that.
After I kill you.
Huh.
I love you now, but I should kill you later.
Exactly.
I shall kill you later. Sleep well. You'll most likely be dead in the morning.
Right.
But it's amazing how our family does stick with us and communicate with us. And I've noticed that as well. But it's funny when I hear them in my head. I know it's them by the things they say and the way they say it, but I hear my own voice saying it. I don't know if you've had that happen, but that's how it is for me. So sometimes it's hard to interpret who it is, but I know, through my gut or whatnot, that's my dad or that's my mom. By how they're saying it or what they're saying and the smart assiveness of it, as far as when my dad comes through. He was an epic smart ass and raised me in the gutter, which I appreciate because I have a really sick sense of humor and I laugh about things that I probably shouldn't and think I'm probably going to hell for that. But, but it helps me to think lightly of things and be able to laugh at things that a lot of people can't. And it helps me to get through those different struggles. But it's amazing how our family sticks around to protect us, I think is what it is, to protect us and guide us.
She got a nice little close-up of Amelia.
Oh, you introduced her already?
Yeah, she got introduced.
Yeah, she was staring at me. It's like, when I first had you guys on, she was standing out so harshly, and then he was showing her, and her eyes were just glowing, and it looked like there was like some movement going on in there. And he said her eyes are generally brown, but when she is active, they turn green.
Yeah, that can happen. He can tell you more about that case, and we've got some other bad ones.
We went through that while you were back there.
Yeah, dealing with my emergency.
You can show her some of the ones you brought in here. I didn't bring a lot with me today because... Timmy? Yeah, Timmy would be good.
What's you, Timmy? This anybody that's watching, I have to give a disclosure, and anybody that's listening, we had somebody that actually mimicked and mocked the entity with this doll, and the person started speaking in tongue, actually legit Latin. There's no way they would speak it. After they mocked it, they actually pulled out a hunting knife and tried to shove it through their ear.
Oh my god!
It was all we could do to get the person not to actually shove the knife into the side of their head. So, a disclosure, anybody watching this, please do not mimic the doll. Please do not mimic the entity. Please have utmost respect. And if anything does happen to you, nobody on our crews, teams, any of the radio show you're listening to, nobody is responsible. So please continue listening to this next part at your own risk.
Thank you for that.
The K2s are going to red. This is Timmy. He may be small. He's got a spirit of a serial killer attached to him. This is an extreme possessed object, highly dangerous, and he's out of containment for this tonight.
Hi, Timmy.
It's been carbon dated. He's been tested, and this is the dog responsible for a lot of really bad activity.
Can you hold him up a little higher? Wow. So where did you find Timmy?
Timmy was actually found in an abandoned orphanage, and that's how we was able to trace him and get him.
I just want to let Timmy know I wasn't laughing at him. I was laughing at Joe because Joe's peeking around Timmy, which made me laugh. So, Timmy, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Joe, just so you know. Wow.
Yeah, Timmy's extremely a dangerous object, and I can get the video footage. I'll get you guys links of what happened when somebody did mimic Timmy, because there was some people with their cell phones that actually captured it, because this actually happened after me traveling through, and I had some of the objects, and I'd met a friend, and somebody that they had with them had mimicked it and didn't realize what he was. And there was other people that happened actually in a parking lot. And there were some random people that caught it on video, plus the security cameras.
Wow. So you said you found him in an orphanage. Can you tell us what exact orphanage? And do you have any idea how long he was there or how he made his way there?
I can actually disclose that later with you in a link where it was found, because it's actually in the process of a documentary. So I'm kind of like zip-tied for a little bit. But I can definitely mention it later on with you, and I'll give you the information when we can.
I would greatly appreciate that. And he definitely does have that kind of serial killer doll look.
Yeah, he's a very bad spirit attached to this one.
So how do you... Well, I want to ask more questions about him, but I guess I won't because that'll be disclosed in this
I mean, if you ask,
clip.
I can answer what I can, and what I can't, I'll tell you I can't.
Okay, so how do you think...
He's still a tolerable object.
Yeah, how do you think that this entity gained control of Timmy?
He actually took him over, and Joe can actually explain it a little bit too. He was actually what you would consider babysit for under research to keep away from objects. How long? About what? Getting babysit, what, 15 months?
Something like that. 15 to 20 months.
Almost 2 years. We had him analyzed and studied away from our other objects. And he would actually pick up my chain. It would be like this and play with the chain. And you could watch it happen. You could hear a little boy giggle. You could hear everything. And different things would happen. He'd light up toys. We had like puzzles. You know, the alphabet puzzles, A, B, C, D. That's all they would say is the alphabets. He would actually mimic it and make it say words. Like full-blown words that the board should not say. And I think the entity was always there. It gained control from what I've connected with it. It was more like an Annabelle type effect. It wanted you to think it was something else so it could gain your trust before it attacks. And I think the entity just gained... I think whatever entity was in that doll, it jumped the doll originally. And from what I've connected and read it was something sadistic about the fact there was a sad child that was attached to the doll. So the serial killer spirit, I don't think it's the spirit of the guy that actually was the serial killer. I think it was the demonic entity, which is what I've connected to.
She's moving forward.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Amelia just
Amelia wants
Yeah,
to
she
be the
was
center of
back.
attention
She's
again.
moving
She's like, quit talking about Timmy. Talk about Amelia.
Mhm.
back to that story. The demonic entity that influenced the serial killer to kill is what is in Timmy, and I think it's the sadness of the child that drew that in so it could feed, and it uses that as a manipulative tactic.
It's like there was that needing and wanting within that child that attracted that entity to that doll.
I think with that and the way that the child that was like its only thing, its only hope, and that entity took it.
Not to draw attention away, but I don't know if you've been noticing her back here, but she's coming forward and then she's throwing her chest forward, like, here I am.
Wow.
I'm watching you move 2 inches forward.
Do you ever like draw a chalk line or whatnot in front of her to show that she's moved past that without any sort of manipulation going on? Or, some
Actually,
sort
what
of
she's
tape or
sitting on
something?
what she's sitting on right now is a porcelain top, so I'd really have to damage it with a permanent marker or something
Stick
to
the
do
penny in
it.
front of her.
I think that would be cool to.
Like maybe
Yeah,
underneath the porcelain top, like the thing that holds the porcelain
Yeah,
doll
just
upright
a-
is what you're talking about. So maybe put a line underneath that to show like how much she's moved. But she definitely, like, from the get-go of this Skype has drawn my attention. I saw her and then I saw the other dolls, but she just is
Got your
looking for
attention
that
quick.
attention. Yeah. Wow.
We have some.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
We have some the K2s going
I'm
off
thinking
like
more
that
like
back
a
there
penny
too.
or something.
If you can see the K2s, I don't know if you all can see them going off as well.
No, I can see where the bottom of the mason jar is. I can't see. Okay, I see it.
The
Once Joe
K2s
moved,
of
I could
the
see
crying
it.
boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
behind me.
Holy shnikes.
It's going off like crazy. There's an interesting story with that painting too. That is one of the few original prints of a crying boy that we was able to get, and I was snowed in at my aunt's house one night years ago, and I was laying on the couch, and I looked up above me, and I was like, "That's the crying boy." And I was just thinking, and then I started saying, "Look for a certain mark and certain things that are on the painting," and we looked for it, was able to validate, and once we found it, I told her the backstory of it. It's hung in her house for years. And I said, when you die, I want this. She said, you can have it now.
Just take it.
I've had it ever since we've had it with us now, but that's just a backstory on it. And everybody probably knows the crying boy story. So
Okay, it's hard for her to see, but I had put a penny over in the front. She's got a stand that she's on,
Uh-huh.
and I put a penny right against the stand. And right now, her stand is probably about almost a half inch back from where the penny's at now.
Well, yeah, and it's just amazing how that K2 is just going off.
It's
Right
jump-
now it's just at green, but it was just going off.
is there a spirit here with us? Can you light that up, please? I already know you're here. I can see you. Just show everybody, please. Light that up. Timmy, are you upset? Amelia? Light it up a little bit more if that's you.
Oh, there she
Thank you.
is.
It's her.
Thank you.
Yep.
Wow.
But look at the distance between where I put it up against here, and it's like a half inch away from her base now, where she had moved.
Oh, yeah. Then I forget it.
Well, that's
And I'm
amazing.
gonna set up some static cameras, some live cameras on some of the objects, just for your viewers and everybody. If they want to start watching them, I'll send you all the links once those are set up, so they can constantly monitor the objects.
To me, it's also amazing the way it's bouncing. It reminds me of when you're looking at voice coming through on certain things, how it bounces, and it appears like she's saying something the way it's bouncing. But holy shnikes, it's all the way up to orange now, or?
It's getting there, yeah.
Go to orange if I need to put you up.
It's getting close. It's active though. I mean, I'm gonna move the screen a little closer.
She's going up to. She went up to orange. Yeah.
She calmed down. Huh?
Now she calmed down.
Well, you're looking at the K2 meter, not her.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, she went back up when she moved it away.
Well, on that note, you guys, I hate to do it because I'm so intrigued and I want to keep going, but we do have to go to our first musical break, which is Mocha Tea with My Life and Mystique with If I Slip and All I Want, or I Want It All. And they're both Milwaukee, Wisconsin artists. So you guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I don't know where my phone that I don't pull out.
Justin just said, I'm sorry I had you muted. He said Wisconsin has good cheese and good music. So here we go with our Wisconsin artist, Mocha Tea.
Badger.
And
Send me some free ones. I said your name.
Mocha Tea, let's get it. Future plan is to get you, boy. You all that I think about when I get you. I'ma treat you right, keep you close to my heart. Future plan is to get you, boy. You all that I think about when I get you. I'ma treat you right, keep you close to my heart. Future plan is to get you, boy. You all that I think about when I get you. I'ma treat you right, keep you close to my heart. Future plan is to get you, boy. You all that I think about when I get you. I'ma treat you right, keep you close to my heart. How could you love a man who never been loved? How could you show him something he so used to lust? I know I'm young, but I know I can be the one if he open up his eyes and know I'm the one he can trust. Support and good loving is all a nigga need. All that bullshit niggas give you is a test to see if you'll leave. And if you leave, you are not a strong queen. Cause a queen will stay still, pray and be there for her king. Future plan is to get you, boy. You all that I think about when I get you. I'ma treat you right, keep you close to my heart. Future plan is to get you, boy. You all that I think about when I get you. I'ma treat you right, keep you close to my heart. Future plan is to get you, boy. You all that I think about when I get you. I'ma treat you right, keep you close to my heart. Future plan is to get you, boy. You all that I think about when I get you. I'ma treat you right, keep you close to my heart. I love the way he carry himself. I love his swagger. He had me at happily ever after. No fairy tale, this man I really wanna capture. A peek at you, got my heart beating faster. No road runner, but you got my mind racing. Still can call you up and don't know what to say. My friends might say I'm dumb, my friends might say I'm stupid. Then again, why take advice from single women? Future plan is to get you, boy. You all that I think about when I get you. I'ma treat you right, keep you close to my heart. Future plan is to get you, boy. You all that I think about when I get you. I'ma treat you right, keep you close to my heart. Future plan is to get you, boy. You all that I think about when I get you. I'ma treat you right, keep you close to my heart. Future plan is to get you, boy. You all that I think about when I get you. I'ma treat you right, keep you close to my heart. Let's create a kingdom and have a Prince Wednesday. Build an empire, a dream I desire. Like Candy Crush on the Monday, got butterflies feeling funny. Blunt out the blunt, can't get no higher. Like a fiend who needs sexual healing. Boy, bless me with that business. You're my teacher, you got my undivided attention. Boy, would you come my way and answer a simple question?
Yeah, okay. I want it all. Even if you stepping out of bounds, keep ballin'. I want it all. Diamonds and cars, building big yachts, close up the stars, buying the bars. On it is ours. I want it all, big or small. No more of a downfall. I want it all. I want it all. I want it all. I could sign your baseball. Money making it rain fall on a big mall. Owning the whole block, driving to the mailbox. Cruising in my yacht, I gotta get up out this box. I want it all. I always knew that I would be rich, don't doubt for a minute. Speaking to existence, hoping and feeling to give away $1 million. Just be chilling in the tallest building. Say hello to the mission and vision with me. Hello. Watch cars about 150 Rolex diamond luxury city. Next to Movado, motto cocked it before the arrival. Lamborghini with bass high, I can hear it all. Sit back, sun roof up, is the stars. High performance cars, super saloon, exclusive rims spinning hard. Always wanted to build a park, obstacles to enter. A lot more for the kids, recreation centers. I want it all. Red bricks, cream coated, painted marble fountain as I pass. Walking the stone path, heated pool, home theater for all of my family. Wanna do it for my city. Can't wait to see the chandeliers hanging from the ceiling. I want it all. Diamonds and cars, building big yachts, close up the stars, buying the bars. On it is ours. I want it all, big or small. No more of a downfall. I want it all. I want it all. I want it all. I could sign your baseball. Money making it rain fall on a big mall. Owning the whole block, driving to the mailbox. Cruising in my yacht, I gotta get up out this box. I want it all. I'm inside of a dungeon, life involves repercussions. Could fist the consequences, leave me boxed up, feeling suction. How could this bad mistake have me thinking ways to escape? Catching the case, wanting it all has been replaced. Look at a cellmate face, I know they can't relate. Trust in the soul, heck no, it's to stay safe. Up in the place where my food is cold on my plate. It ain't no breaks, it's a time to concentrate. Watching my back, got stabbed by too many snakes. Who times dragged against the bars is the rude away. Mind race, body cold, hard to embrace. The situation made me think, why did I miss the hate? And common sense of being solved in so many ways. During the problem thoughts, I forgot I want it all. Forgot I had a dream to rule it, forgot to remember that all my fans had a part that I can have it all. I want it all, staring at the walls, walking down the halls, wait for my collect. Call supposed to be at a concert hall. Instead, I want it all behind bars. Can't reach for a star. It's a fear. I want it all. 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 Diamonds and cars, building big yachts, close up the stars, buying the bars. On it is ours. I want it all. Big or small, no more of a downfall. I want it all. Diamonds and cars, building big yachts, close up the stars, buying the bars. On it is ours. I want it all. Big or small, no more of a downfall. I want it all. I want it all. I want it all. I could sign your baseball. Money making it rain fall on a big mall. Owning the whole block, driving to the mailbox. Cruising in my yacht, I gotta get up out this box. I want it all. Mystique.
life, the quality or state of being alive, a living organism, and I am. Mocha tea, let's get it. My life, the sugar, honey, iced tea. They wonder why I smile so gracefully, and wonder why I like blue cheese. When I'm lactose, 10 toes, 10 fingers, nigga, 10 hoes. Flow dope, whip it, microwave and stove was broke. Broke days, broke weeks, even broke months. A rich don't will have them going crazy. Lettuce and mac and cheese got them going crazy. Irregular, abnormal, and unusual. So unusual, I got shot for being beautiful. You can tell me love, you so gorgeous, but yet got a gun pointing to my forehead. Yo, head break bread, yeah, we gon' feast. Remember the cold nights we had nothing to eat. Southern Belle raising hell area near you. I'm hungry and leaving no proof. My life, my life, my life. It ain't always sunshine in my life. A big puzzle, I'm trying to figure peace ain't right. They thought I wasn't gonna make it, I know they didn't. It's visual, check your vision if you got the issue. A news feed if you got the memo. Breaking news, a new wave coming. Fuck a wave, hurricane, so mocha-licious. I really do this, it's in my blood. Pass it to my kids when I have some. And that's hip-hop.
Welcome back to We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. It's so great to have you all listening tonight. Tonight we're joined by Justin Richards and Joe Paris from Creperum. Welcome back, you guys.
Thank you. It was a nice little break. Get a little coffee, a little cigarette.
And a little laugh.
Oh, yes, definitely. Never short of those.
Yeah, so you guys have some...
terrified. It's always amusing. It's like a fraternity and sorority. We're like initiating them. This is like hazing gone wrong.
Gone wrong. Hazing to the extreme. But you guys were having a laugh because one of the people that are helping you is noticing her in the background and she's moving, and you guys said her legs actually started moving apart. Do you think she's flirting? What is
Yeah, she could be.
There you go, Daddy.
You just had to plug you up.
That's a different kind of plug.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no, her legs were moving apart. She had leaned forward and moved almost to the edge of the table. I had to push her back. And then her legs keep on moving.
Her head turned toward me again.
I think she likes you.
There's no wind here.
I should have bought Jazz and put
She
them
loves
together.
you, Daddy. She wants some more of it.
That was one object that we didn't want to mix together.
No.
I told Joe I was going to bring one that we called Jazza, and he was like, nope, don't mix it.
Yeah, it could get way worse, you think, if you mix two certain ones together?
Those two for sure.
Yeah.
Because Jazza was from a case, and there was CCTV footage that was actually caught of a girl. You could see a little child playing in this family member's car, like she was in the front seat of their car. And it's an actual full body apparition of a child. And when you walk up to the car, she disappears. She's not there.
Oh, I've seen it.
And we actually recovered a doll named Jezza from their home that growls at the children, tried to lure them into a field where there was satanic rituals.
Mm-hmm.
There was a rape. There was a lot of bad activity there. And they were trying to lure the child into the woods. So we have her, I had her at a house, and even my mother's heard a female child laugh and run through the hallways, and the doll will be moved different ways. So that's one reason we didn't bring her.
Yeah, it would have been too much for the two of them together.
We don't even have her in the museum on display right now. It's just not something we don't have her out yet.
Do you guys make people sign waivers before they go through your museum?
Well, the museum hasn't been made public yet. There's just things that, right now we don't want to take and have a bunch of people go through the museum or mock things like Timmy and stuff and all. Usually, if
the
we have a
offense.
public event, we'll have them sign waivers because there are things that go on and things we can bring out. That if somebody gets scratched or pushed or whatever, we don't
Possessed.
have liabilities or possessions.
Mentally ill.
Well, it's like, how do you
Death.
prove these cases?
That's
though,
all in our waiver.
You know, I think if you did do a waiver, it would be just admitting that there is an issue and you're trying to cover your ass. But if you don't, like, how do they come back and prove that it was you? And how do you really prove the paranormal anyways? Like, that's what a lot of us are trying to do, is prove that the paranormal exists, but all of this equipment is experimental or entertainment purposes only, because, people don't want to have different liabilities. But how would somebody prove that? But at the same time, you're looking out for people and you don't want something like that to happen.
But then you also got to look back too on the case of Annalise, which is better known in Hollywood as Emily Rose, what the father went through for that situation altogether. I think that's what led everybody to been so cautious into the paranormal. Now, whether you can prove it in a court case or not, he was still tried for that.
So do you know what the outcome was of that case?
Not full clarity, no. I just know he went through a lot of hell.
Yeah. So
that's the one exorcism movie that bothered me. So
yeah, and that was the which one was it again? I'm sorry.
Emily Rose.
Emily Rose. Yes, that one was not very nice at all.
We did Indiana top that movie. I still have nightmares about Indiana.
Indiana blew that movie away. When we went into the house, it knew what me and Justin were there for. There were times where we would separate, and Justin was upstairs and had a situation, and he called for me, and I ran up 2 flights of stairs. I don't even know how I got up there, but I was up there in like a matter of seconds. But when I went outside, I went to go take a break, and it was summertime, so I said, well, let me turn on the air conditioning and just sit in the car and relax a little bit. And while I'm relaxing there, the garage door opens up. Now, we have the house all sealed and contained, salt, we're going through the whole thing, and all of a sudden somebody opens the garage door. Well, I'm sitting in the car, all of a sudden the car shuts off. Cannot start the car back up. The father says, well, I have AAA, I'll have them come out and jump you. And I was like, okay. So they come out and jump us. We go, I says, eventually we're going to have to get, the battery checked out, see what's going on. Well, the following day after the whole situation, we went to a motel. We got up in the morning. There was one truck left in the parking lot.
One truck.
And the guy actually had jumper cables and jumped us, and we went to the auto place. Well, the guy says, we'll change your battery for free. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I don't even have to get dirty about it, He'd come out, and he looked at my battery. He said, what did you do? And basically, the battery looked the battery looked like a football.
Oh my goodness!
I've never seen a battery look like that before. But it drained all the power from the car because it knew I was in it.
Well, I've never seen that either. Like, even in car accidents, you don't see batteries warping like that. The shape of a football. That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was a little bit, since we're talking on Indiana, the way the case started, I was monitoring an inbox with Nick White from Curse the Bell Witch, and he was monitoring some of my cases, I was monitoring some of his, and we were just watching each other's inboxes. And this case kept coming up, and I'm like, this woman keeps asking for help. He says, ignore her. She's crazy. And he just thought it was a crazy thing. Then I seen a message. I was sitting in Fort Lauderdale, and she said, please help. My kids need help. So because kids, I say, I'm going to open this. I'm going to take it on. He doesn't want the case. I'm going to take it. About a week before I was sitting in Fort Lauderdale, I'll go back a little bit. I had a dream, and this little girl in my dream was possessed, sitting in a corner, growling, talking in a man's voice. She lunges at me, touches my shoulder, and tells me the name of a demon. I wake up in the middle of a dream. My mom's downstairs praying for no reason because I stayed at her house at the time. Now, fast forward back to Fort Lauderdale. When I opened this email, It's actually the same girl from my dream when the mom sends me a picture of her daughter.
Wow.
So I tell Joe, I think we need to take this case. It was about a month of prepping, deciding what team members were going to go, who wasn't going to go. And that's when we went to Indiana. And it was the name of that demon, but there was more than one. But the main one, that was one of the minion demons that was taunting me and calling me out. And it happened when I walked in the house. It was everything I saw in my dream. The house was exactly laid out the same way. Second I walk in, there was no crew inside. I said I wanted to go in, remember, by myself. I go upstairs. I come flying out. I'm having to gag myself to make myself throw up because I got punched in the throat immediately. When another medium told me it was going to happen, it happened. And I couldn't breathe. I had to make myself throw up just to catch a breath. And Joe can remember me running out the front door.
Yeah,
it was extreme.
Yeah, he probably knew exactly what was going on or that something serious was going on when you ran out like that.
Yeah, I mean, I was been suffocated. If I would have stayed in, I think it would have probably killed me.
Or made you pass out.
Now, that one wanted to kill me.
No.
It
so
was
did
bad.
So did one of the team members from up there from that paranormal team that got possessed. She wanted your throat bad.
Yeah, she was going to kill me that night.
Yep.
And the possession come right at me, staring me down. I put a shaman in front of me, and I put another guy that was probably
he was a big guy.
He was huge in front of me to actually hold her back.
Yeah, it's amazing the power that a certain individual has when that's going on, especially if it's not just one. You guys were saying several going on there, but human power compared to power when somebody is possessed or on a certain type of drug, like, is insane. You got to call in backup. What did you guys? Yeah, what did you guys do to protect that individual that was had a walk-in or was possessed that was a part of the other team? Were you able to do anything to help her or protect her after that?
Water. I called it out, and it took about 2.5 hours to get the name. And then
longer.
I mean, she was mumbling it, but we couldn't make out what she was saying. And finally, I got the name out, and it was telling the name. Then I threw the holy water on her, and she started saying, "Don't do that. It burns. Don't do that." So I threw more on her. Don't do that. She was getting more angry. And then she started shaking, like trembling. And she said, "He's here. He's here. He's here." And then I said, "Who?" And then I say, "Show me who's here." And she falls to her knees and says, God, and starts saying it. And then she started calling out, the angel was behind us. Mm-hmm. And that's when she started going crazy. And we kept throwing holy water. We did everything we could to get it out of her. But I don't think she ever wanted it gone because she was an older lady. And we found out later on she had done that before, invited it in her. Like another time, something else. And nobody ever disclosed that information to us. I think she was doing that for some sort of strength.
Well, and sometimes people will go in and they think they're helping people and they'll say, attack me or take my energy or something like that. And that's a sort of invitation. Yeah, very big mistake.
I mean, the children were extreme as well, but an adult makes it 100 times harder when they're possessed. I mean, the child can get just as much supernatural strength too, though.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it.
But there's, we went through a certain test and all to see who was actually possessed or who had an attachment at the time. And if we didn't do that, we wouldn't have known.
That test was
just
insane.
A lot of people involved in that case.
I think I should tell about that test because that was crazy. Disclose it? Yes, no?
No, I don't want to disclose how we... Well, there's certain ways how we test people, and I really don't want to give that away because I don't want other people doing that, not knowing.
It was highly dangerous, too, though.
And it's very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
I mean, it was interesting, and I'll talk to you after the show about it because it was interesting. It's the first time I tried the theory. I had other priests involved, and I developed a theory, and I told Joe, I said, I want to try this. How can I go and tell a child you're possessed without terrifying the child if they're not possessed? And if they are, how can I approach it secretly? So I started developing an idea, talked to Joe. He started developing with me on it. We come up with a concept. And once we tried it,
it worked 100%.
It worked.
No doubt.
Could have killed us both, but it worked.
Right? You're like, it could have killed us, but it's worth it to try this method to propel this, as far as
we
deeper.
deal with a lot of cases regarding children, so.
Oh, the funniest thing is that me and Justin were together, and we were asking the mother, send us some pictures of the kids, just playing and stuff, because we wanted some photos just to see what we were going to deal with.
I still don't like looking at the photos.
And, yeah, I still got the photos on my phone. And she sent us some pictures, and I was like,
I don't even have them on my phone.
Are your kids playing with makeup or anything? I was asking them because I didn't know if they were playing around or what. I mean, this was summertime. And she says, no, why? And she goes, I'm worried about that light in the picture. There was a bar of light in the picture. And I was like, okay, did you look at your daughter's face? She goes, yeah, why? I sent the picture back to her. Her face was so dark, like the exorcism of Emily Rose. It was just shocking. The mother just fell apart, and we left that weekend to go up there.
I think it's skull.
Yeah,
like the eyes sunken in and stuff like that. Basically, Walking Dead.
She was laying on the floor playing with her sister, and you could see her face was dark, but with her head flat against the floor, you can see her eyes looking straight at you, which is physically impossible.
The position that she was in on that one, though, there's no way that a child could have contorted that way either. The way she was bent back with her neck. No. You've seen that one too, right?
She would have snapped her neck.
Yeah, there's no way she could have been that. It's not natural.
That's insane. And you still have it on your phone, Joe.
Oh, yes, I do.
Does that scare you?
That's one I don't have.
No.
After that case, I deleted the photos, and I told Joe, put them in the archive. I don't want to look at them again unless I absolutely have to.
Yeah, if you put it in the archive, it's not there where you can see it until you go into the archive and pull it out, which is really cool.
Exactly. I mean, I mentally saw it. I physically saw it. I was emotionally attacked for months to get over that exorcism. And I was the one that actually, with the father, the last day of the exorcism, he was a non-believer. It was jumping on him, and the way no other team helped, it was walking right out the front door with him and coming right back in when the team left. And once I got him in there with me, I told Joe I'm going to trick him to get him to stay in the house. And I told Joe I'm going to corner him. We had already saw that there was going to be a gun involved. I already had the vision. Another medium confirmed it as well. Joe confirmed it. We found it.
Yep.
And he laid the son right on the bed where the gun was under it. The same prediction we saw was going to happen. And I told Joe I still want to trap him and be in the home with him and get him inside the house to where he doesn't walk out. I finally got him to stay in the house. Hit jump back to the mother. Mm-hmm. And that part worked. And he started finally seeing it. Cabinet doors were moving. He heard noises. He was going to help me get the equipment. I told Joe stay in the car.
The funniest thing, though, is when the father actually heard his wife growl.
In a different voice.
Yeah, and in a different voice. And that's what turned his whole attitude around. Because he was a non-believer in all this.
He went back to ministry with that, everything.
Yeah, he went into
ministry, promoting about this.
Mm-hmm. And that's what happens a lot of times is the father doesn't believe, but the mother is a believer and wants to be there for her kids. And generally it's too late or something's happening to the dad as far as possession or whatever. But I'm glad that he got to see or witness that evidence so he could believe too.
Oh, yeah, when we went to go leave that last day, I mean, he was hugging us and thanking us and everything.
He was helping me get equipment how it started, and I said, I lured him in because nobody was out. It was heavy equipment. No more crew was inside. And he said, you need some help. And I said, yeah, of course. And I was like, my plan's working. Because I texted you. Remember, I said it's working. He comes upstairs, starts helping. I'm happy when that happened.
Yeah, you're like, the plan is coming into play.
An evil dog barked, remember?
Right.
It started like a dog bark. They have no animals in that neighborhood anywhere. Was near. And he heard it. Then I said, it's not done yet. Go get your wife. Because she had went through the exorcism the night before and was still knocked out. I said, bring her back up in the room where it's at. Once she comes up, that's when she starts growling and starts throwing a fit and going haywire. Couldn't cross the line with the holy water. That's when he finally saw how she come out and lunged. And when he saw that, his whole world shifted.
Yeah. His whole attitude changed.
That was the last day of the exorcism.
So what do you guys do when you come out of an exorcism to protect yourselves and not take something home with you? Because once it goes from one person, it's going to go to somebody else. So what do you do when you come out of that to protect yourself?
Between your grounding, your saging, your prayers, holy water.
Like everything in the arsenal?
Salt baths.
Calling Joe 1,000 times. And
less holy water in a tub. And getting plenty of rest after that. Yeah, because it drains us like crazy.
And us constantly sending each other pictures of our eyes.
Yeah, I think it was about a week that we were drained before we got back to normal.
I went back to normal for like 2 months. Mm. I was attacked for 2 months from the one.
Who said you were normal? You've never normal.
I've never been normal.
We're all paranormal. Like, paranormal is normal to me. I've never been normal or accepted. Did you guys... Okay, so going back to in the beginning of this, and you guys experienced these different things as a kid, did you try to share these certain things with your friends, and then they're like, you know, stay away from that kid. This kid's really weird, and you faced a bunch of rejection and criticism?
I'm supposed to be in hell already.
That'd be more directed toward Justin, because I didn't start at an early age with that.
Mine was interesting. I went to a Christian school for a little bit, and it was hardcore Southern Baptist, so I had really a lot of fun with this. I already had my team. Yeah, I already had the team formed, and I had a pastor that pulled me up in front of everybody during like a Wednesday thing and said, this guy is an example of someone going to hell. Had the whole school in there. So I spent about the next 2 weeks. I couldn't really talk about it there, but one of my other team members went to the same school. And it was funny because we followed our teacher's son around in the lunchroom all the time. And I just go up behind him and I said, I'm going to take your soul. And I would mess with him so bad. I mean, I eventually ended up leaving the school due to reasons like that. But yeah, I couldn't really talk about it too much back then.
Oh, sorry. I'm trying to get my camera right. The light keeps changing. It's weird. Yeah, I had to deal with that too. But you were actually playing on it, like not being a victim to it, but like, I'm going to take your soul.
Yeah. Yeah, I just had a lot of fun with it. I mean, it was just constantly, I just messed with them 24/7 because, I mean, they wanted to mock me and bully me. The pastor would constantly, he was the principal, would constantly fail me. I had straight A's and he would fail me and constantly fail. We proved he was putting an F on my stuff and I passed everything. So,
so
it was a big bully situation.
What religion that was connected to?
Southern Baptist.
Oh, you better not be caught dancing, man. You got to be careful with that stuff.
I never went to any other dances because of that reason. I went to a club.
Yeah, he's like, he's dancing. He must be possessed by the demon. Well, I think I was in 4th or 5th grade, and there was a member of my church. I was not raised LDS. My grandmother was, and was a missionary and everything. But by the time I was 7, I got baptized, and I found that a lot of activity ceased during that time in the age of 13, and then it kicked up again. But he was part of the church, and I wrote a story about one of my experiences. And he's like, are you being honest about this story? Like, did this really happen? And I was like, yeah, it did. And I felt like he actually believed me, which made me feel better, because even my aunt, who's now my mom because she adopted me, she's like, she still won't deal with the paranormal. She does not even want to watch any paranormal shows. She will not deal with it. But she's like, that's just your imagination. It wasn't real. Quit telling my kids these stories. So I quit sharing the stories, but I knew it wasn't my imagination. It was real. And I'm not crazy, but yeah, just that judgment and ridicule from different people. But to have that one person that was not a peer, but somebody older than me, believe in me, and he has the priesthood, which might not mean a lot to other people, but to me at that time it did. And it helped me to accept myself. That was like myself. Me with
one of the priests. When I got into this, I met one that actually was consulting me, because I was given, before I did the Indiana case, I told him, I said, I was given the name of this demon. I saw it in a dream, but I know it's happened. It's the same child from my dream. I was like, what do I need to do now? And he sat down and showed me some other stuff and said, this could be the case that kills you. And then he said, go for it. So that was...
Yeah, he had faith
I
in you
went
that
for
you
it.
could do it.
Yeah, that's what he said. And then when I come back afterwards, he said, you had to go and do it yourself. I couldn't just tell you to do it. You had to make that decision.
Because it is really up to you in the end.
So we did it.
Yeah, that's something you never forget.
Not that one.
That was like extreme. I'm not one into watching paranormal TV shows.
I
never
don't even
will.
flip the channels. I don't even watch myself.
I don't believe in a lot of it.
I don't listen
if you're
to
going to do
myself.
something for somebody,
I don't either. Or Joe.
if you're going to do something for somebody to help them out, do it for non-popularity. I mean, that's not the way to do it.
It's like us if we're aired on something. We don't even watch it.
I mean, if we're promoted, aired, whatever you want to call it, in any way, shape, or form, that's fine. But it's not something we watch.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll approve like the final edit or something, but we don't watch it.
Well, I have to admit, I watch everything paranormal, even groups that aren't really big on YouTube, to go to sleep because I was raised watching scary movies. That to me was like a comfort point, and so I'll listen to or watch scary things to get me to sleep. And Paranormal State was the very first one that I got into, and it actually helped me to come out of the paranormal closet. So in 2012 is when I started my group because I was like, F it, I'm going to help people. And I'm not going to stay hidden anymore. I really don't care. Like, I'm not getting any younger.
She's out of the closet.
I'm out of the closet, everybody.
Closet monster?
Closet monster. We've
what
had
is
plenty
the
of closet
closet?
monsters, yes.
Yeah, the closet monster was crazy.
What?
Yeah, we run into quite a few cases where we wind up having closet issues. It's that dark place. Yeah, it's that dark, secluded place that winds up being an issue.
Yeah, it's like some sort of portal or vortex or something.
We've had those too in closets. Yes.
The animals, man.
Yeah.
It's like a prime spot in the closet or under the bed.
I was going to say monsters under the bed are real, kids.
I would run and jump like 4 or 5 feet to get into bed, and I actually did really good in high jump in high school due to that, because I was like building those jumping muscles. And then you use the sheet of protection and cover like right here, below your eyes and between your nose. Oh my goodness. But they are real, and a lot of monsters that are out there are actually humans, but there are paranormal.
I'm more scared of humans than demons.
Yeah, me too. I would say some things, but I'm trying to keep listeners. Okay, so somebody was asking about the bracelet, and they're like, what is up with that bracelet?
Which one?
Well, we talked about it on break, but we didn't on air. The one in the mason jar.
Demon
No, the
bracelets.
jar.
Look at the lovely assistant.
Yeah, the demon bracelet. What was their question?
They were wondering what was up with it. Like, how did that come to be? Why is that bracelet there?
This bracelet, I was staying at a hotel, and somebody had actually asked for help, said somebody was going through, they called it a situation, and asked if I could help and see what was going on. We heard stuff being thrown in the next room, thought there was a fight. While they were talking to us, thought something bad was going on. I was about to call the police. We walk in the room. This guy's sitting with his curls toed, or like his toes curled. Yeah, I got confused because I'm looking at the bracelet. He's sitting there, and he's braiding these paracord bracelets. He's growling. He's talking in a different language, which was Latin. And I'm like, this is a possession. When we walk in the room, there was nothing being thrown there like we heard. We call out what's in him. He's mocking. He's laughing. We still call it out. I get a game plan together with one of the other ex-team members at the time. And I'm like, we can't be in the building. We can't be in this place. We got to go somewhere else and get a plan together. We go to take a walk. When we go to take this walk, we're talking. Next thing we know, this guy comes up behind us from inside. And he's like, enjoy your walk. and he turns around and goes back inside the hotel. So we
You're
go
like, that
back
wasn't
in.
weird at all.
No way he would have knew what we were saying
Right.
because we texted and showed it to each other. We walk back in. He's braiding these paracord bracelets. This was like 2 to 5 seconds worth of braiding. Anybody that touches this gets extremely ill, vomits, throws up. It's bad.
Hey, we have some guinea pigs here we can use to try that.
Now,
Who wants to touch it?
I will.
I'll take it
Are
out.
you serious?
You want me to take it for the night?
Who said that?
Jimmy.
Is
Me?
that Vanna?
No. I'll care to touch it. You're a better man.
You want to touch it after the investigation? I'm not taking the investigation if you touch it first.
Nope, I'm good.
I
I'll take your word for it. Because I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, this
it's
is an
all-
extremely. That's why it's in the jar. We don't want nobody to touch it. We've had a lot of people touch it, and they've got extremely ill.
Well, you were telling me earlier that this guy was doing something like twiddling his fingers with one hand and braiding it with the other, and
Yeah,
it
and
only
braiding
took
it
him a matter of minutes to
Somehow
make
like
this
that. I don't know
bracelet.
how. And he's counting it like this. I can't even keep doing it steady. I mean, I don't know how he did it. Well, I mean, I know how he was possessed, but
Well, not
as a
naturally.
human, there's no,
Yeah.
it's not naturally done, no. And this has never been blessed or anything. It's just in here so nobody can touch it. We purposely keep this one not blessed, not contained, because we want to use it for research.
Yeah, and you were saying how it's in a jar, so you don't have to touch it. You can still hold it and show it. And it's also got a stone from a Reiki master.
Yeah, it's been in here since, that was 2 days after I contained it, wasn't it? I had it uncontained. And then Crystal sent that when 2-3 days later.
Yeah, matter of fact, I've got something that's coming special in the mail for me this week
Interesting.
from Reiki Master.
Yeah, this was actually contained. She said put it in the jar, put the stone in there just so I can safely travel with it or so we can keep it on display.
My periscope just actually activated by the door and ran towards me really fast on these little nodules. That was creepy.
Yeah, there's something standing at the left side of your wall. Not from video what you can see, but there is something there with you.
Yeah, I've heard that last week somebody said that, and I moved and I changed the lights and did other things. I actually turned off my background lights because it was reflecting on the screen, and I want a clear picture for our Periscope watchers, but there was a
It's a
woman
male
in black
figure from your
and a woman in
there,
white.
It's not a bad. There's
It's
a
not
male
bad?
figure from your family.
It's probably my dad because my dad's shillelagh is back there.
Yeah, I'm picking up family, and it's a male figure.
See
So
the face here.
I'm not even.
body.
I'm not even picking up there. It's not even there. I'm picking up the
Like
actual
over here?
entity walking.
Or over here.
Not on your camera screen. It actually stays on the left side in your room.
Okay.
It's not like matrixing or picturing like they're seeing. I'm actually connecting to something
It'd be
that's
her
in
right
the
side.
room with you. Yeah, that would be your right side, right?
Her right side, yeah.
Yeah, from the camera. So it'll be your right side.
Yeah.
Over here by
Yeah.
Bigfoot? Because people used to say, holy
not the
shit, Bigfoot's in this room,
That's where
because
they're
my
saying.
dad wore size 14 shoes, and we had maintenance come into the room, and they're like, holy shit, look, Bigfoot lives here, because his sandals...
Yeah, that's what they're seeing, though. But the left side of your room, actually the left side, pay attention to like cold spots. Keep something on the left side of your room for the next couple of days.
Yeah, I have some tourmaline, selenite, and amethyst in a drawer right here. In this little drawer thing, and I took them out a couple weeks ago for my daughter, and then I remembered why I had them in there because some crazy stuff happened after that. But yeah, other people on Periscope have seen it a couple times, and generally it doesn't turn out good, so that's why I saged tonight to keep only good stuff in here and all the bad stuff has to stay out, because I knew we were going to be talking about some really crazy things, and things can travel, especially through the internet and electronics these days. It's like so much easier for them.
Oh,
I
yeah.
proved that
Hyperspeed
during
travel.
the experiment.
Tell her about Indiana on our way there. Remember the GPS?
6 times.
6 times we went around in circles trying to get to that.
And that's
case in
not just a
Indiana.
pun. 6 times, and it wanted to turn the son into a serial killer. Little backstory on that. We drove through. It was hot. It was summer.
Yeah.
Nowhere near Halloween. A Jason Goes to Hell truck, fully wrapped, and Jason Goes to Hell drives by us.
Oh, yeah.
We go into Subway for a production meeting, and we're sitting in Subway because we have people filming. We actually had a crew filming just because we needed this aired. So when we were sitting in Subway, guy walks in shorts, has a Michael Myers tattoo all the way up his leg. Same day that we saw the Jason Goes to Hell truck.
Yep.
And same day we were routed 6 times. Joe later goes in to find a clown mask under the sun's.
That I told him was there, and I also told her about a bat. He's got a bat. She
No,
says,
he's a nerd. He's a nerd.
He's a nerd. He don't have a bat. He's never been into sports. Well, when we got there and all, they went and looked through his room and stuff and all, and they found the bat.
And the knife marks.
Yep.
Ooh.
Well,
That's crazy. Cog wanted to follow up with the bracelet thing, and he asked, in fact, why didn't you burn the bracelet? Why do you keep it?
I'll let Joe talk about
burn the bracelet?
I'll let Joe go to that because he gets excited.
And people
when
always
somebody
want
asks
to burn things, but that's not the way to deal with it.
That is not the solution to the problem, okay?
Joe said this a million times. I love this lecture. I'm going to listen.
I had a case here in town where I'm at, and I called Justin. I said, we need to get up there. The woman called me and wanted us to help. Well, there was a TV series that I had a couple of friends on, and they turned around and they basically blackballed us and ran up there.
Well, they didn't blackball us. They just kind of went out
they
from
sort
under
of
us.
just pulled it right from underneath our feet. And he went up there, and his solution, I'm not going to say no names, but his solution to every case that he has a problem with a house is burn it down.
Burn it.
That doesn't resolve the problem. It doesn't get rid of the problem. It maybe enhances it, if anything. So when somebody says burn something or throw it away, that is not the way to get rid of it.
That family's still got problems now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
burning
that's
the
not a
bracelet's
good-
not the right way.
Yeah, that's not a good solution. No, you have to take certain steps, and it's good to educate yourself, whether it be through a certain church or Google or, people that you know that are educated in these things. You can't just take it somewhere and ditch it or try to burn
Google's
it.
bad.
Don't Google. Do
Yeah.
not Google.
Well,
if
if
you burn
you
it,
do,
I'm not releasing evil back into the world.
Well,
Right.
not only that, but a lot
Quicker.
of people go about things the wrong way, and they think this is going to take care of it, and it doesn't.
no.
I've seen it happen way too many times. It's just really bad. I mean, even people think, "Oh, this is bad. Let me throw it away." That doesn't
doesn't
solve
work.
anything.
Yeah, Cog, who was the one that asked, he said, it works in Supernatural, the show, where, they go
I'm
and
friends
salt
with
and
both
burn
of the
something.
guys that are on that show, and everything they do is halfway fabricated. If we did half of that stuff they do on the show, we would be dead. We do carry salt, and we do carry stuff like that, but
Yeah, if you don't do the proper procedure to contain things and
it doesn't help.
keep them away from having problems, it doesn't help anything. It's just you're just looking for more trouble.
Right.
And there has been some people that have tried doing things like that and wind up having some serious issues, and their family has issues, and they find out in the long run that wasn't the solution to it. But they, you can't tell them something. Some of them think they know it all or they've learned it all. This isn't something you learn in a textbook. This is not something you learn off the internet.
Well, yeah,
This
and
is something with life experiences that you learn.
Yeah, I was going to say, and something could be like guiding them to do that. You should burn it. Burning it's the best way to do it, and it releases it quicker, and it can go into something else. Something worse, like your family member, or something close to you. I don't know.
Yeah, we've
scary.
seen that happen.
Yeah.
So you have seen that happen.
Yeah, I've seen that happen with. I'm not going to mention her name, but she had the Ouija board that she dealt with, and her child, little kid, I forget what his age was, like 4, and he knew the name of a demon that had come to her, and he said, "That's my friend, Mom," and said the name, and he had never heard her say it, and it was attacking her. We documented her for about a year, and it was following her, and they burnt the board, and she's still screwed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because once you burn it, you can't do anything on it to correct what you did. Like
It's a lot harder for us to fight it and a lot harder to close it
Yeah.
because that vessel it was using to communicate is gone.
take a little walk.
You figure that out.
Is everybody okay?
Yeah, no, we just got somebody with a loud stereo thumping in the background, so I had one of my team members go over and tell them to turn it down.
Be careful.
Hey,
Tread
I got
lightly.
Amelia, you know, I'll stick her on them.
Go out there with your doll and talk to them. You know they're going to move out real quick. When she turns her head and moves her arm or whatever. Holy shnikes. Man. Yeah, we've heard a lot of trucks going by and such. Where are you guys located again as far as, are you in the museum right now? Are you guys on a main drive or what's going on there with, as far as we've heard trucks going by really loud, or maybe that's something else?
They could be picking something else up. They're not been that much.
He's moving. No, he's moving.
We are in a main strip, though.
Yeah, we're on a main road.
So are you guys in the actual museum that you plan to open up in the future?
Oh, no. No.
No, we're off site with some of these objects right now, so
Okay, good.
we can't afford no more activity to like stop our connections or any problems or.
And
And
it's
some of these
amazing.
objects that are out of containment tonight, we don't want them with the other objects out of containment. So
Yeah, it's amazing how that happens. I haven't been on Spreaker because I've been with you guys on video so we can do this Periscope. Nobody said anything as far as having any breakups. And I'm going to knock on wood because generally when we have a paranormal show, which we have generally, things happen. Whether it's the internet or anything like that, something electronic or whatnot, it really has a big effect.
yeah, we have a lot of backups running right now, which could be helping. So
Nice. All right, so we have about 5 minutes before we go to break. Is there anything as far as what we've talked about so far that you want to touch on? As far as that bracelet, do you know what happened to that guy? Is he okay? Is he still out there?
the guy, I know he went into a mental facility for several months after that, just because of trying to grasp. He didn't remember a lot, but trying to grasp what had happened to him. It sent him on like a spiritual battle. And as far as after the fact, he doesn't remember any of it happening, but he saw footage of what did happen. As far as that, as far as we know, he's okay now. He's working a stable job. He's normal. That was, well, as far as normal could be for his world, I guess is how he looks at it. But he's in society now, put it that way.
That's good. Good to hear. Because that's scary. Like having a possession I've had, I don't think it's really a possession because it was really short-lived. So I think they were walk-ins, like the in and out thing, which is why I'm scared of astrally traveling. I'm afraid because things have been after me my whole life, basically. I'm 41 now, and it started when I was 6. I'm afraid if I leave my body, something's going to jump in, which they do occasionally anyways, but it seems like he had an actual possession instead of just a walk-in, and I'm glad
Yeah,
he's
he was
recovered from that.
fully overtaken.
Yeah, not just an attachment.
It was him. It
Right.
become him. I mean, he was no longer in existence.
So do you know what happened to help him from that? Did you guys have a hand in that, or did he just find help, or his family
What was
find
that? I
help
couldn't
for
hear
him?
you. I'm sorry.
I was saying, did you guys help him to get past that, or did his family find somebody to help him get out of that? I know he went to the mental facility, which is not the answer, but I'm wondering if there was anything else.
No, that
done.
was actually his choice because he didn't understand how to deal with it on his own because of what it affected his mind. He couldn't believe that was him, how that happened. But as far as us helping, I guided him to where he needed to go. He did get stable from there, outside of his own choice of what he wanted to do for himself. But his family, they actually sadly thought it was cool. They actually thought it was something cool, and a couple of the members of the family started dabbling into witchcraft and wanted something like that to happen to them.
Why? I mean, that's totally not cool. And it could
Exactly
be
what
worse than braiding bracelets, and fiddling with your other hand. Like, could be something totally worse than that. And I'm sure there was different aspects other than that point, but I don't understand why people do that.
We can fix that. Yeah, I don't know why people. Which one?
Got it.
All right. Well, The Devil Leads Us is actually a hunt for the Jersey Devil using advanced technology and other methods that's never been used, and it's a way that nobody's ever searched for the Jersey Devil before. We actually have direct descendants from the Leeds family actually involved with us that are going to take us to some of the exact spots and sites where we're going to have team members camp. We're actually going to be documenting fully and try to capture the Jersey Devil. We've already done some pre-production work and had activity. We had stuff move. We heard something brush by us. We actually heard large wings fly over top of us when we were at the Leeds Point Church Cemetery. So, I mean, that's just a leak into what we've got with Jersey Devil. That's not good.
You better tell her.
Yeah, well, actually, if we lose the connection, we will connect right back with you because we're having some stuff going. The channel, my new series, actually. Oh, what was that?
Is your REM pod going off or your EMF detector?
No, it's dead now, isn't it?
No, it's been
going off.
A little bit.
Talking about the Jersey Devil. It's been
Went off a little bit. Yeah, when I've talked about the devil, they said it's been pinging.
Okay.
That project will be coming out soon. It's called The Devil Leads Us. They can search the website, thedevilleadsus.com, but it's Leeds, Leeds, like the Leeds family.
Okay.
Then my other series that I'm working on now is called The Channel, which follows me as a psychic medium to some of the top locations that we're going to channel whatever the entities are in that area and see what activity we can get, whether it be the Goat Man, the Jersey Devil, other things like that. We can channel it, multiple activities, multiple locations.
I don't know. Tell us all about.
Life, the quality or state of being alive, a living organism, and I am. Mocha tea, let's get it. My life, the sugar, honey, iced tea. They wonder why I smile so gracefully, and wonder why I like blue cheese. When I'm lactose, 10 toes, 10 fingers, nigga, 10 hoes. Flow dope, whip it, microwave and stove was broke. Broke days, broke weeks, even broke months. A rich don't.
Beast, spitting the puppet-tastic. Got the power from God, made the rest hard to breathe. I'm on the surface, flow so powerful, industry don't fit me. You people fire well, I'm the kind that made you inspire. Smoke detector can't take the batteries, what I require. I am led to put me out, you need a mandolin. Stop, drop, bend, roll to your nearest exit. Not the one to play, we'll make you go back and edit. Make you jump, double dutch, till your leg legs. Head knobbing with the flow, man, I need a helmet. I done screwed up these verses and got them pregnant. One of a kind, and chick could step to my comparison. F the world up with this, man, I should just marry it. My words are weapons, biggest tools that can't fit in your kid. They sell it fake, hoping I'd rather kill your hope like ISIS. Still killing it, infinite, check the status, I'm getting the wind. Froze the flows with my apocalypse. I done seen spaz, I spaz, like spaz. The garbage man and they trash. This of course I can't crash. This a race and I'm fast. I pass the fate and put all of it last. Dragon so I clash. I hide it all in the stash. We are diamonds, they are brass. I'm connected with no lag. She a spin 34 bag. That's my wife and I'm glad. Michael Myers with his stabs. Ali with his jabs. A scientist in the lab. JJ Watt in his past. The amigos with the dab. This is why I ride. And I got the nag. Spazzy roll the sack with Mystique in the back. Money tall like Shaq. Weapons like Iraq. I am cancer in a pack. The 9/11 attack. We don't know no slack. You can't hold us back. Rock and roll with that. So much fire. Think I woke up the dragons. I'm the new beast. Spitting apocalypse for a fantastic. Got the power from God. Made the rest hard to breathe. I'm on the surface, flow so powerful, industry don't fit me. Spark so much fire. Think I woke up the dragons. I'm a new beast. Spitting apocalypse for a fantastic. Got the power from God. Made the rest hard to breathe. I'm on the surface, flow so powerful, industry don't fit me. your red carpet. You gotta love to learn and have fun. It's time for school.
Do you believe? Are you ready? Get ready. It's time for school. Roll out your red carpet. You got to love to learn and have fun. It's time for school.
The funniest memory that I could recall is getting up to sharpen my pencil as a kid, showing off my new outfit from head to toe. Yo, I love the life of 3 9-year-olds with hyper goals. My mind be blown. Don't get upset when the answer's wrong. Pray for strength and you'll survive to be strong. I am a teacher, it's how I define myself. Help me vibe so well, don't stress, do your best and forget the rest. Mama made sure we pray to God, highly blessed, and I am honored. No weapon formed against us should prosper, don't ever forget. And I bet when you enter into school, you'll feel ultimate, no consequences of your accomplishments. Move away from the negativity, it got you bit. And if you getting in the midst, just take the time and repent. Stay focused, get a pencil, write about the lesson. Raise your righteous hand, find the answer to questions. Can be your main plan, leave a saucy impression. You are your own fan, you got this, is what I recommend. Do you believe? Do you believe? Are you ready? Are you ready? It's time for school. Roll out your red carpet. You gotta love to learn and have fun. It's time for school.
Do you believe? Are you ready? It's time for school. Roll out your red carpet. You got to love to learn and have fun. It's time for school. Back then, I loved school. I was cool. I was putting in my dues. I ain't wanna be no fool. Mama had it poppin', school supplies and shopping. Success was an option. Math had me locked in, but English was my topic. Lunchtime, I had it rocking. Lunch tables was knocking, and we wasn't stopping. In gym, I was good from the 3. Like Stockton, music class, I had everyone stuck. They was watching. We wore bow straps with retros and the watches. Love life, humble yourself. That's my creed. Think with your mind and heart, you will achieve. Pray on it, give it to God and proceed. Your goals, ambition, and God is all you need. Imagination and will is something we can't teach. Remember Dr. King, he had a whole dream. You can do whatever you want. I believe.
Do you believe? Do you believe? Are you ready? Are you ready? It's time for school. Roll out your red carpet. You gotta love to learn and have fun. It's time for school.
Do you believe? Are you ready? It's time for school. Roll out your red carpet. You got to love to learn and have fun. It's time for school.
Do you believe? Are you ready? It's time for school. Roll out your red carpet. Yeah, you gotta learn to love to have fun. It's time for school. Roll out your red carpet. Yeah.
Thanks so much for listening to We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies tonight. We're actually having some paranormal difficulties, tech issues. Let me try to reconnect with these guys. I know their EMF detector was going off, different things like that. Hopefully we can get through to them. Oh, wow. So I don't know how else to get in there. Okay, they're trying to reset connection. Ooh, it got really cold in here. So it's been very interesting, the different stories that we've talked about this evening, including the devil, demons, different entities, walk-ins, possessions. Oh. Hopefully. Okay, on PC. Okay, I'm going to try to call again. Let's see what happens. What's happening? Oh, me. Oh. But I've had a lot of experiences. We're having like weird stuff happening too. All kinds of weird stuff is happening right now.
Yeah, and when the doll was looking at me, they had Timmy on there. It tried to die.
Really?
Yes.
Were you thinking dirty, bad thoughts about Mr. Timmy? Or did you say something out loud?
I think you're trying to look at me.
Did you hear anything? Like, was he conveying any thoughts?
Yeah, like, who are you or stuff like that. He was trying to reach out to me. It felt weird.
Definitely, as far as something that previously possessed a serial killer and then is now possessing a doll. I mean, I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's intelligent hauntings, most of these dolls.
So, do you remember the name of the female doll that first started her shenanigans? I keep thinking Emily. Was it Emily or Emmy? What was her name? It's not Annabelle. No. Well, anyways, when they first had her on, I want to say Amelia. But when they were first on there, she was totally the center of my focus. Like, I saw them, but she was in the background peeking over. And then you saw as they moved around, there was more dolls in the background, but she just stood out. And when he said that her eyes are generally brown, but they were so like emerald bright green, and it looked like they were moving, like there was some sort of pixelation or movement in them. It's really strange. Did you see anything like that?
Yes, and it's corrupting your connection to me, which is weird. He's still with those dolls are still with us.
And the Facebook just cut out too. Really freaking weird. What the crack?
I don't have access anymore, so we're going to look now.
Huh.
I think Timmy was curious about me. I really suspect that.
Maybe you shouldn't make eye contact. But, like, what a doll to possess to do that, you know?
It was really weird. Me and both those dolls had eye contact.
I don't know. It was super creepy. And then I have my... Go ahead.
I was looking right in them, in their head, like they were me.
Yeah. Well, and it was funny, too, because I had my Periscope on tonight, and I think I might have to open my briefcase and pull out some more batteries for this, but something, like, ran up on me and everything. It was pretty crazy. And then, did you see on the Periscope live that they had that EMF detector that was totally going off, and it looked as if it was like a voice register bouncing up and down and stuff, like she was saying something? I wonder if they had an EMF or something to do that, or an EVP recorder.
Yeah, they should have. For that situation, I totally recommend a version of the Oculus, like what that KD I'm friends with has.
So what is an Oculus?
The type of ghost box.
Oh, nice.
It uses white noise. And also, it can use standard radio, but it can also use an unused channel. You have options.
I just can't believe how, like, all of a sudden there was just an onslaught of paranormal issues, and my Periscope 360 is pointing at me, so something's like right here. What the hell? Over.
Yeah, it completely crashed my browser. I'm having to restart it.
Yeah, and I was wondering if it's because I'm wearing like silver and metallic bracelets and I have long hair. Maybe it's static, but I'm moving my arm over here on the other side of the Periscope 360 and it's not doing anything. It's just in the area of right next to me, to the right. It's really weirding me out.
Silver is a repellent. It's not attractive. It's supposed to protect you. And I think you probably may have irritated them.
Generally.
Right now I have nothing near me. No stones, no nothing. I have not had to use them very much lately. I had somebody completely gone, so I was able to look straight at them and stuff like that. There was nothing blocking me.
Well, right now it's standing right in front of my door. And Joe and Justin said they actually saw something in here, which they said is a male. Could be my dad, could be something else.
That happens in your room a lot, I noticed. When we're on after parties, I see it.
Yeah, my little studio thing going on here. And I do have stones, like I said earlier, in a drawer in the back. And I do have, like, I saged in here tonight just to protect myself, but I don't know if that helped or hurt things because when we first started the show, the Periscope was going off, and it was going off for a while, and then it quit, and now it's doing it again. But it's cool. It's in the green, and they said they saw a tall, mannish figure, so I'm thinking it's my dad. And it could be because I have his shillelagh in here, or it could be some other reason. Oh, I got a call coming in.
Yeah, the shillelagh you also have is you have an emotional connection with him still.
All right, so looks like Justin's trying to call back in. Let me see if I can add him. Hold on one second. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad they're back, but really weird. Okay.
Yeah, see the .c there.
Huh?
Yeah,
Nice.
There.
Oh, hello, you're back.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, we've been having all kinds of weird things going on, and my Periscope was just going off. My Periscope 360. Something was standing right next to me, and then it was standing over here right by the door. And then as soon as you called, it went away. But that was interesting, and we have Christopher on the line. They do have to go on vacation for a little bit, but they said they might be back later to hang out with us. But where are you guys going for investigation? Or what are you doing, if you can't tell us that?
Mhm.
I'll leave that one on your side.
The problem is where we are is there's a lot of followers, and if I give out the locations, we'll probably wind up with a mass showing there, and we really don't want that. We want to do a private investigation ourselves.
So can you tell us what's happening in this location?
Well, the area that we're in actually had a mine disaster, and there were over 100 people that were actually buried in the mine when it collapsed. That's a part of it, and part of it's got to do with the militia that came into the area while the Cold War was going on, and some of the issues and people that have been tortured and things that happened during that time.
So, like, tortured due to, like, their lifestyle and the way you have to live off of stamps from the mine company, or is there something else that we don't know about?
There was segregation between blacks and whites. There was segregation between males and females. There was an altercation where one of the militia actually got in a fist fight with a local, and the local actually killed.
Investigate.
Yeah.
Our power just literally lost, like literally everything on all our devices just went to 5%.
Wow. Oh, no.
And it was all charged. That's our backup devices.
That's the other one, right? It's the Android. Yeah. Let me grab that.
Did you lose power where I lost my connections a little while ago?
Yeah, we're losing power completely.
Yeah, we all
It
lost it.
It went from.
Oh, no.
This is really freaky.
Yeah, I hope he's just frozen and gonna keep talking here in just a second. And I hope we didn't lose him, but we'll find out any minute now. And they have all kinds of other artifacts behind them, like other dolls and such. And I was wanting to meet those as well. I don't know. Am I looking for trouble, Christopher?
Yeah, you are.
I'm just curious.
You
but
have
they say curiosity
attachments
kills the
to
cat.
begin with.
Well, yeah.
It'll aggravate what's going on.
Well, I saged in here, so I guess I'm feeling a bit confident because I saged and you kind of get that sense of peace. Except for I couldn't find my Palo Santo. But there has been something in here tonight. Not only have they seen it through my camera because we're on video. Oh my goodness. Hold on one second. Let me see what's going on over here. Looks good over here. We're still recording, not buffering. Yeah, Robert says, always looking for trouble, Tess. Messy Tessie. Yeah, Gnome Drew said, spirits draining batteries.
I'll go try and piggyback them. I've been able to do that from here with other people. I'll try it.
So strange. Oh my goodness. And everything went to 5%. I had to plug in my phone because it got drained like all of a sudden. It was at least 80 and then all of a sudden it was dying. And still plugging it in isn't working very well. Still really Christopher. So weird. And it seems like every weekend it gets stronger and stronger, but maybe it's just the groups I'm picking or something. Because these guys are into a lot of stuff. Not just paranormal investigation, but exorcisms and such.
Yeah, I love these guys. I want them to be part of my contacts eventually. I just like the energy they got. They're knowledgeable too.
Yeah, and I'm like, why did I think they were from Indiana? I think I was thinking of my grandpa Rex, which was from Kentucky, but originally Indiana. I don't know. Tennessee.
If they couldn't connect to me and I have a real strong signal, that means they're really, really off the grid right now.
So what did you think about that female doll with the rosary?
I think I wrote something.
Well, and then they had that bracelet back there, which when they'd stick it up to the EMF detector would just go to red automatically. And luckily they have it in that jar.
I don't like.
Yeah, when they have it in that jar, you don't have to directly touch it. But if somebody does touch it, they automatically throw up. They get really sick and weak.
Yeah.
Really strange. And they said he was like twiddling his fingers and braiding the bracelet at the same time. Like, who braids a bracelet with one hand? And he did it in record time. It's insane.
That ain't possible. Wow. These guys are into serious stuff.
Yeah. I'm burning some more sage. Hopefully that helps.
I stirred something up.
Have a stone in there from a Reiki master who had done something to it. So they put the stone inside with the bracelet, and it's been helping, I guess, to protect them from it. But I'm blowing on my sage, trying to get it to smoke. And this isn't a very
You're
big
breaking
area.
up a little bit now.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm smoking some sage. Smoking out my studio real quick.
Yeah, completely sage it, and then when you have a break, make a pathway for them to get out.
Oh, there's a crack in the window, so they can get out there.
Oh, good.
Yeah, weird. It's weird how everything dropped. Everything was full. Everything dropped to 5%.
I just tried to add them, and it said unavailable, and that's pretty bad because I'm usually able to get people online from my account.
So everybody's saying bad juju from the bracelet. And they also... I think it's the bracelet.
Yeah, they don't bother me like that bracelet does for some reason.
Really strange. So, one of the reasons that I called you was some of the hauntings you've gone through, which, could you say that they've kind of fizzled out a little bit? You're not really having to deal with that anymore, or is it still, like, really hardcore?
It's fizzled out now since I had a certain person basically kick me out of a spiritual connection. A spirit.
Yeah.
It is. Even my brother commented, it's really, really quiet.
That's good. I know you had a lot of crazy activity for a while, but I'm trying to get Justin and Joe back in here real quick. They pop back up and says join call, so let's see if that helps. Holy shnikes, this is really odd. You can't make this stuff up.
Yeah, I'm going to add them to my contacts, so in case they die again, I'd be able to pick them up.
Well, you know, you're always talking about traveling to these really far-off places and doing these different things, but you're not that far from Tennessee.
No, I'm like only 8 hours from where we're at.
Hey, welcome back.
Power
It's
issues.
clearer now.
Yeah, we've been getting drained.
I just messaged Justin and said maybe take the bracelet out and see what happens. That's awesome. So I was really bummed because I didn't know if you guys were coming back or not, and I was like, man, I wanted to meet these other dolls or see these other artifacts. Can you guys show us around a bit?
Show them some.
I'm
It's
probably
waking up again.
asking for trouble. I shouldn't probably ask, and we should probably talk about other stuff.
She's gonna be pissed.
Uh-oh.
Joe, get it
I'm
fixed.
so going to hell with that one.
Joe, get it fixed quick.
Yeah, Joe, fix that one before she torments me or like I break my leg. I already see that happening. I don't like that.
Oh, no.
Or we have some issues with an object that's causing problems right now.
All up to you.
All right, cool.
If you die,
If we die, we get another backup in case.
it's at 93. So
Oh, wow. Who is this?
Oh,
yeah, she gets mad.
This is the doll that has a horrific backstory. It was the one I was talking about briefly earlier, where I think before we went on air, she's based on the story that was with her. Sorry, I'm getting confused because something's bothering me over there right now. Okay, we've got an entity lurking around right now. She actually was given to from her sister, because the sister was in love with the same guy, and it's cursed, and that's the one that caused the husband to actually die 2 weeks later. She come from London, this one did.
Wow.
She causes nightmares, extreme nightmares, shows you how you're going to die, then eventually you die. That's why there's no mouth on her. That way you can't scream for help.
Wow.
It's kind of like sleep paralysis.
It's like pretty much like a silent doll, but she's cursed, and she actually, the family in London actually sent her.
You see, when we move this out of the way, we could just stand around and walk around.
Yeah, the K2's going off again.
And there's some crazy crashing noises.
I'll let you talk about this one.
Yeah, I hear them all.
Skyler, the one that see the light. That was at the trailer. He's been contained ever since.
You tell about your little friend.
This one was the one. This one actually, the doll moves if you have batteries in it. Which we took the batteries out. It's still unscrewed. If Joe can open it, because I'm trying to hold this. We had took the batteries out originally during the investigation, and I think we put them back now or after. Actually, no, we didn't. They're still out. I didn't know if the medium put them back in that was there at the time. This doll actually, when the batteries were out, was still moving on the floor. The arms were moving, and we picked it up, and a camera guy was shining a camera on it, and it said, "See the light." And we actually have it on film. When it was saying that, we actually put it there. Another medium did the cleansing at the time. And the backstory we got after the case was there was a child that the father rolled over on and smothered the child. And they run the child up to the trailer where this lady lives and ask her, "Can you pray for it? You pray. Can you pray and help save the baby?" Well, the baby actually ended up, the spirit went into this doll here. And that's why it was saying, "See the light," but the father had smothered the child ultimately, which was an accident.
Yeah.
But that's what happened.
Very
and
tragic.
it was moving. It was saying, "See the light," moving like a baby. And it was still moving when we took the batteries out. We've had it ever since. So. This one's the only palm doll that we actually have.
When you guys heard it say, "See the light," did you tell it to go to the light?
Yeah, she did. Another medium at the time. I didn't do the cleansing on this one. I was dealing with something else on that case. But she did the cleansing, and she sent it to the light, and it actually stopped moving.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's a positive object we actually have. I mean, a sad, tragic story, but it's not a sinister object.
Yeah. Very sad story. And I know of a local story that happened like that, too, and it's very tragic. For everyone involved and even people that don't even know the family. But it's cool that it left, but it's cool how in different cases you release a spirit and it goes away for like 3 months or so, and then all of a sudden it's back due to free will. I don't see this individual coming back because who would really want to be trapped in a doll, but there's different reasons that other ones do. So that's very intriguing. So that's a cool story, like you were saying.
It's been dormant since the case.
Yeah.
This one, we've had no activity from it since then. It's actually a dormant. I'll give Joe a favorite one.
You guys should get a tiger eye stone.
What was that?
You heard of a tiger eye, a type of stone?
Tiger stone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I suspect will protect you around that bracelet even further than what you got now.
Yeah, we need to get that for the bracelet. That's something I haven't tried yet.
Put it right next to a jar, but not in it.
Let me put this down.
Yeah, put it down. I'm going to let Joe talk about this next one because this goes back to Indiana. You haven't touched it since then?
Was that the
last one? The last call out?
Yeah, this is the
original. That's it.
The original rosary that was used up the Indiana case.
First time that we've taken it out of containment since the case.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Joe's not touched it since that case either.
Very beautiful.
Diabolical, though.
Yeah.
With what we pulled into it.
The things that were done with this during that case, this is a rosary that will never be used again in any other case.
And it'll go back in containment most likely after this interview and probably won't come out for a long time again. We literally bought this one out of containment just for this interview.
Yeah, inhuman in that case, didn't you? That's what I get.
Yeah.
Demonic, yeah. Well, it's interesting how a lot of people use different things like a rosary, etc., repeatedly, but that you guys used it and it was a really big case, so you put it away. And that, I think, is really good to do. Like, I've never really put thought into that before, but for you guys to do that.
Yeah, there were multiple used. That was another one from the case. As the medallion. And the metal crucifix actually twisted. Remember, it got so hot you couldn't hold it? We had a metal one. It actually, first time I've ever felt ectoplasm, it actually was on that crucifix while when the mom was possessed was laughing at it. And she was actually making the top of it bend while she was laughing. And the words that come out of the mouth, this is why we switched to the wood one the next time to trigger it, because the words out of her mouth were, I don't know if we can actually use profanity on this broadcast.
Yeah, go for it.
Her exact words were, "Fucker, Jesus died on wood, not metal, asshole."
Wow.
And was laughing. The metal had no effect. It got so hot that we actually couldn't hold it while she was laughing. So we switched to this one next. And then we ended up with the one Joe showed you just a second ago to finish it.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually had a rosary that I used on several cases, and it had St. Michael going up it, and I didn't notice until I got back home that the Jesus had actually popped off of the wooden cross that was on it, and I haven't used that since either. I just figured it wouldn't have the full effect, and where the heck did Jesus go? I think he's still in that place or something. I don't know. That was really strange to me.
Not only that, but once you use a rosary or an object like that there on a case, you really don't want to use it on another case, because if there's any kind of residual or attachment to that, you don't want to take and represent that to a new case.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Kind of like infecting it with something else.
Right, or making it stronger.
So Nikki in the chat room was asking, what about black obsidian, black tourmaline, tiger's eye, moldavite, bloodstone, and red brick as protection stones? Do you guys use any of these?
Sometimes.
I use some stones. Each individual is different as far as what they need to protect them. I can't say, use tanzanite for you. It's all your energy, yourself, that you have to protect. Like I said, each individual is different. Some use amethyst, some, as you know, you've got some stones yourself, and you find what works for you. And that's the stones you need. Justin, I don't think deals with any stones, do you?
I have them. I carry them sometimes, but not much, because I want the entities to be able to connect when I'm somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Actually help better with the case, so I rarely go in with any type of protection when I go into a property for the very first time. Usually I can see what's going to happen first, or I know, and I connect, and then I usually tell Joe, okay, this is what's happening, and
then we have a war.
Yeah.
It's funny how I learned that as well when I first started doing investigations. I'd always use the St. Michael prayer, even though I'm not Catholic, but I have faith in it. And I'd use other things like that. And it would cut down on the amount of interacting and such that you do have with entities. So I learned to do it afterwards as a form of protecting myself and not bringing anything home. So that way you could get a good investigation and not be cut off from things that you might actually experience.
Well, I'm happy you brought that up because actually I was born and raised Catholic. Being of, Italian descent, that's just normal. I am Baptist now, but I still refer back to my Catholic beliefs when it comes to cases. The Catholics, just have a larger understanding. They've been around a long time,
more
around
resources
this
for
stuff,
this.
and a lot more, resources and things you can use to protect yourself and to help others.
That's why we go to the Catholic on that side. I mean, a lot of people question it. I've had non-denominational, I've had Baptist, I've had other organizations question, Catholics are the only ones that have the power. No, that's not true. But the point is, we go to them because they have an understanding. They're open about the paranormal. They know families go through this, and we can get more support. We've had times where priests were afraid to deal with cases we've dealt with.
Yeah. We've had priests deal with a case
because of how extreme it was, and they verified it, said it was legit, but they didn't even want to go through the doors of what we've dealt with on some of the situations. But other than that, they have provided us a lot of resources, and it's been a great help to us as well. So we always go back there just because they're more open. Their education's a lot stronger in this field.
Nikki reiterated with, do you get grounded or centered before you enter a case? Do you do anything like that in steps of preparation?
I normally, for myself, I always do a grounding. There are different ways of doing a grounding, and there's a proper way of doing a grounding. But I do a proper grounding, and I have 2 prayers that I do before I go into any situation. And one of them is the St. Michael prayer.
There's something watching you. In the mirror, something keeps watching you back and forth.
Do what?
I'm just being honest with you. I'm glad.
In the mirror, you said?
Yeah, there's a mirror behind us here, and it keeps watching him, and I'm not just trying to freak him out. It's an older lady that keeps walking back and forth. What happened to your grandmother?
Which one?
Within the last, within the last 15 months.
Only time I ain't had nobody
15 to 24 months.
Only person I think of is Gammy.
She's an older lady.
Gammy was an older lady. She died in a nursing home.
Hmm.
In the last 15 months?
Yeah. Close. You creeped me the hell out.
You're real close to her?
Not really.
She admired you.
Yeah, she thought a lot of you.
All right, boys.
Yeah.
You can feel it. It's just bad habit, I guess you want to call it.
I'm going to do the intro to my new series. I'm Justin Richards. I am the channel.
I am the channel. I love that picture, too.
Thank you. Yeah, my graphic team did an amazing job on that.
Yeah, that was amazing. It was kind of like poltergeisty, but not. It was a little different. You got so many different feelings from it.
It was really cool because I was doing a case, and the place I was in didn't even know they had that old television. And I seen it on one of the floors that was off limits. And I told my photography team after like 18 hours of shooting, I said, I want to do a photo here. So they staged it. That whole photo they created with the lens and natural lighting. There was no digital editing on that photo. The photographer was amazing.
It's been quartering up down my back. You still see
They
it?
wouldn't give me the TV. I asked if I could have it.
You still
Did
see
they
it?
let you have it?
No.
Oh.
I was like, finders keepers. It should be mine.
I'd keep checking in on that.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get it because I love that television.
Yeah, there's something drawing you to it, for sure. That's strange how that happens, though. And that was an awesome picture, so I'm glad you got that, because that says a lot. Not even knowing the story, it says a lot just looking at that picture.
Yeah, it fit really well. That's like the intro for the channel. It's pretty cool. It starts out with the guy flipping the television channel. He sits in his recliner, flips through the TV. It keeps going to white noise, and then it goes to me standing in front of a bunch of TVs like this, and it's all static. So it's a really cool television intro.
You don't see it too, do
Do you get like that static mirror thing going on, where it's like endless TVs forever?
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. So like we were talking about the Catholic church and stuff, and I'm not Catholic, but when I was in the Marine Corps, like every church is at the tip of your fingers, and as a kid, like I went to everything. Like I wanted to know, because my mom was killed when I was 5, almost 6, I just needed the knowledge. And even in the military, I went to the Catholic church, and it was really weird to me because I didn't understand anything they were saying during these prayers and such, but different things kind of resonated with me. I have faith in Saint Michael. I know he's kicked a lot of ass in the past, and there's another saint, which I feel bad. I can't remember his name right now, but he's done a lot of good as well, and somebody was going to send me a medal from him, but I had the same experience with my cross. There was this...
Manuel?
Benedict?
Yeah, I think it was Benedict.
Yeah, we picked up on that.
What?
We picked up on that.
Yeah, my friend's supposed to send it to me. I still haven't gotten it, but it's supposed to be blessed and everything. But my St. Michael medallion and this cross I got the night after dealing with a spirit entity, like this dark individual. I went and bought a cross. My husband bought these silver, like, different size swords pack, and then once we got to the car, we told each other why we bought it. I'm like, yeah, there's this thing messing with me last night, so I got this cross. And he's like, I had the same thing happen. That's why I got these swords. So it was really interesting. But as far as it being ripped off, I had my cross and my St. Michael medallion, which I wear together, ripped off. And I could not find it until about 2 weeks ago. I found it sitting right on my bedside table. I'm just like, how did that happen? Right in the rest of my coins, like it was nothing, you know?
Yeah, I've had a lot of that stuff go on. My wife will turn around and either misplace something or can't find something, and she'll turn to me and say, I can't find it. And I was like, okay, did you look here? And she's like, yeah. I said, well, go look there again, make sure, and she'll find it.
Yeah, that's what I call the takers. They're like the little people that are like almost a foot tall. They come and take
like
all your
gnomes?
shiny stuff. Yeah, they take your shiny... They look like human beings, and they even wear like human-looking clothes, but they're only about a foot tall or shorter, and they take your stuff. So I've learned to say, hey, could you please bring that back, like my keys or my lighter or whatever? I really need it. And then the first place you looked, there it is.
You got one.
Huh? Said it ain't a bad one. Oh.
Robert, go ahead. I think your friend was saying something, but I couldn't hear what he was saying.
Was it?
Oh, your friend in the background, he was saying something, and it got really quiet. So I didn't know if it was supposed to be on the air or not. Or maybe it was something else.
You freaking
Quiet here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I connected him to somebody that had passed and had to deliver a message.
I almost think he's just looking at me weird. This ain't even right.
I love the reactions I can get from people.
Right? It's really mind-blowing, especially to somebody that's not a believer, a skeptic. We actually made a believer out of Charlie the plumber in Arkansas on Halloween morning, right after midnight on Halloween morning. And I don't know if you guys had the same experience, but there were so many spirits out and about that night. Did you guys have anything like that going on?
October was crazy.
Yeah, October was crazy.
I was dealing with really bad stuff in October.
It was so thick. Like, I'd never seen anything like it before. And, there's a little girl here and a little older boy and a guy. And then over to the right, there was a small platoon from the Civil War. And I'm just like, I don't know. In my sister's house, there was little babies, 2 little twin babies, and a guy that I called the tall man. And come to find out he actually exists. And so that really creeped me out. But Robert White from Australia actually helped to clear her house. But yeah, it was just so much spiritual activity. So it makes you wonder, is the veil thinning or is something about to happen? What do you guys feel is going on as far as that goes?
I think it's definitely thinning. I have a lot of theories as to why, but I do think the activity's getting stronger. The Vatican's also starting to recognize it because they're seeking more exorcists. I'll let Joe chime in for a minute on that because Joe knows my theory already.
Well, thing is, if you want to call it, the yin and yang is sort of out of balance, and the dark entities are a lot stronger than the white light is. And that's a lot to do with what we deal with. Is we're trying to make it, we're trying to balance it out. But you got to remember, we're only two people.
Right.
Okay, and right now, the East Coast is very strong, very, very strong. I don't know what's going on, but there's something that's going to happen real dramatic, and I really don't want to be around for it.
Yeah, me neither. But I got a blessing when I was about 21 years old that said that I would be here for the end times, and I'd be kind of like a leader of women. And so I don't want to be here for it, but I kind of feel like I am going to be. At the same time, I don't want to get old. As soon as somebody, has to wipe my ass, just take me out to pasture and shoot me. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of things that we'll be here for that we don't want to, right?
Yeah.
You just got to
If
kind
you got to
of...
put me in home.
Right? Just take me out to pasture under a tree like a good dog would do and put me out of my misery and your misery. But yeah, I think
it means anything to anybody that might be listening, and they may not message us till later, but I was given two names, Erica or a Danielle or Daniela. Is there anybody in here listening by those names? If not, those names mean something. Please get in contact with the radio station. I need to know.
Okay. And as far as that
I've got
goes,
a Jonathan too, but
Jonathan? Okay. So as far as that goes, if you need to contact us, we are paradoxmedia@gmail.com or on Facebook. Or you can find Justin Richards on Facebook as well. But yeah, definitely reach out because you have a message, right?
that might not be their name, but the name is something that resonates to them. If it is, and it's somebody that's passed, I need to connect to that person.
The name Jonathan's familiar to me.
Is that someone that you're familiar with that passed?
Still alive, and he's gifted.
I could be picking up on the gifted side because you're connected to us, and that's
He's
why
my
I'm
brother.
connected with him. That's your brother?
Yeah, he lives with me.
Well, I have...
I need to read on to you a little bit.
Yeah, I have two Johns, but not Jonathans. My dad who passed and my brother who is really hard to find. I worry about him a lot, but... And then there was an Erica, and what was the other name?
Danielle or Daniela. The spirit's saying I can't make it out. It's one of those two. I want to say Daniela because I'm hearing more of an echo.
I'm writing it down really quick. Okay. Well, you guys, I hate to keep you, even though I can for a little longer due to my time on the show, but I'm going to exit out because I know you guys have a paranormal investigation going on this evening. Can you give our listeners your links, websites, YouTubes, etc., where they can find you?
Sure can. Creperumparanormal.com. That site is currently down. It will be up by the first or middle of next week again. YouTube, I'm not sure the link off the top of my head.
We've got Paris Paranormal Investigators on Facebook. We've got Joe Paris Public Figure on Facebook.
Justin Richards Official on Facebook. I know that one.
I don't believe we have Paradigm still going.
That site's down for about another 3 weeks because they're redoing it because of the channel. watchingthechannel.com. That's my new series. That site is supposed to be up by Thursday, from what I'm told, because some teasers are going to be leaked. And then The Devil Leads Us, LEEDS, like the Leeds family.com for the Jersey Devil documentary. And I think that site is up as of midnight tonight, I think.
Nice. Well, thank you guys so much for sharing your different haunted objects and your different experiences and knowledge. It's been a really great time. So thank you so much again, Justin and Joe, for hanging out with us and educating us. And I really apologize for the paranormal difficulties, because we have that going on here quite often, especially recently.
Yeah, we're used to it.
Yeah. Well, I, for one, look forward to doing it again sometime with you. I really had a good time tonight. It was nice, talking with you. And I hope your fans and listeners, appreciate what you do for them.
Yeah, and we'll definitely send you guys some photos that you all can share, like for your listeners as well, from some of the stuff we've talked about tonight. So.
Well, that'd be awesome, and I definitely hope that you guys come on to the after party with us once you get off your investigation, because that's where we come to let go, let loose, get rid of our problems, and talk about different things like our different investigations. And a lot of our group in there are gifted individuals, and we just share our experiences and cut up and have a good time and relax. So good luck to you guys. Don't break any legs on this project, but take care of my ewes and take extra precautions.
I already broke one leg tonight. That's enough.
Right? Please don't do it again.
Yeah, and definitely you all connect back with me later. I'll go over the Jonathan stuff more, because it was specifically Jonathan.
Yeah, I got you on my contacts in case I have to talk to you in private.
Yeah, definitely. Let's definitely link up later on about that. And then any of the other names that come across to viewers, just let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, the only Johns I know is John O'Brien and John, which we call John, but definitely you guys hook up with Justin Richards or get a hold of us here at We Are Paradox Media. But thank you again, you guys, and definitely take care and take precautions.
I'll investigate.
And thank you to all of our friends on We Are Paradox Media's Facebook, Spreaker, Twitter, Periscope, iHeartRadio, and wherever else you may be listening beyond the Omniverse tonight. I had a wonderful time, and I can't wait to do it again tomorrow night when we have Mr. John Covey on. And he started a group at a very young age for teenagers who are gifted as well as him. So don't forget, you guys, we are all in this together. Together, we can make the world a little better. And together, my friends, we are Paradox Media, because without you guys, there is no us. If you would like to join us for our after party, just go to tessa.n.thomas30, or you can call me at 1-970-335-9596. So until next time, nighty-night, love and light, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Don't party too hardy. If you have too much fun, hey, make sure you name it after me. We'll see you back here tomorrow night, same time, same place.